it out. And that's the same thing, with sellers or with my clients, real estate investors throughout. It's just like I made a commitment to you, and like whatever it takes to finish my commitment is what I want to do.
Sheesh.
It's
Well, like you said,
amazing.
I
Yeah.
mean, it looked like you was. I mean, it went from like it looked like you was in a
I
tent
know.
for a moment to the car, and you're like, no,
It was
this is
nice
where
and bright,
the stranger you
and then
is.
it was dark, like I was in a teepee, and then it was like a storm in my background. But I was like to be honest, like there wasn't a second that I was not focused. Like everybody makes fun about these like big old headphones, but to be honest with you, like I feel so locked in. I can't hear nothing. I'm so locked in here that this is what takes my attention. So there was never a second where I didn't catch something or didn't hear something. Like I was so focused on this that everything else like barely mattered.
Yeah, no, you gave like I mean back to back years. You get quality insights. I mean, not only do you honestly you have a crazy personality. You're funny as hell, by the way. You know, what I'm saying, and I just think you bring such a good element of you being the female softness element, but you're a bona fide closer. You don't tolerate any crap. You kept it really real with a lot of us out there.
Yeah.
What was some of your favorite moments from this year's Closer Olympics?
Honestly, I really liked co-judging with like Steve and Mitt. I think it was like a really, really cool dynamic. It was a long day. I don't think anybody ate. I had like red hot riblets, which is like a super St. Louis snack. But but it was just cool. I think the energy was great. Like just seeing people in their zone of greatness is like just sets my soul on fire. Like there's just people that are great at closing. Like there's great people that are great at rapport building. And it's like let's leverage what our natural strength is, right? Like for so long I felt like I had to be the visionary and the integrator and this person and that person and just everything to everybody, and like just sticking to your zone of genius, your greatness, like honing in on what's natural for you allows you to be so much more powerful, right? Like I really think that's what comes down to. Like these guys have really, you know, um Munif is a great example of this, right? Like this is the difference between, and this is a great example, Munif and Toddy, right? Munif had a TC there that was ready, regardless if it's his wife. She was doing TC for work for other people, right? But the reality is he leveraged the team that allowed him to be so much more powerful, and he could really flex his zone of greatness. And I think this was a great outside of skill set, outside of all that stuff. I'm a process person, so I'm like just how everything moved, the fact that the contract, as opposed to like not having that support and that team.
Sheesh. Yeah, I think that's really key, and just being prepared, and having that whatever it takes, man, that whatever it takes mentality. I think you could really see that in some of the closers. Let me ask you, what did you notice different from last year from to this year? What do you notice different for this year?
Um, I mean, I think you guys are always so very organized, and people don't get to see that part of it, right? Like they don't get to see the long hours and the getting on here AV before and the emails and the process and all that stuff. So I will say like every year it gets better just to be a part of it. And that's on the back end, right? Like that's not even what the you guys all see, right? Like that's not even that part. But what you do get to see is like a refined scorecard, right? Like an acknowledgement to feedback. I think adding that creative option this time was, I mean, it was genius. And I honestly, I love the extra dispo day because I feel like a lot of times we don't really get to see the whole thing come full circle. So that was really cool too. So honestly, just congrats to you guys. Like to be honest, like you guys are always leveling up and bringing such an amazing experience for everybody.
Uh, Yeah, no,
I
appreciate that.
appreciate that. Yeah, we appreciate that.
Of course.
So tell me, I mean, being, back to back, female judge here, there's a lot of testosterone, there's a lot of egos going around here. I mean, what's it like being not only a female and a boss in the industry, but being one of the only female judges back to back? Can you like, share a little bit about that,
Yeah.
being a female judge?
Yeah. I think this, it's always been something that always, it's a common question, and I love it because it gives me the opportunity, right? I think that's like a limiting belief. within ourselves, like as women, right? Because every man that I've ever met in this industry always says that women have such a big advantage, right? Because we are nurturers by nature, there's just such a great advantage. So I think what it allows for me to do is just give a different perspective, right? Not just about closing deals, but like the strategy and the process and like how someone moves and how effective they are. So I think it's just that additional thing. But I think it's just commonly it's a limiting belief from the very beginning. I was the only Hispanic in rooms. I was the only female. I was the only person under 50 years old in a lot of rooms when I first started like networking and stuff. And I think everybody else felt way more uncomfortable than I did. Like, I'm like, I don't even care. Like, I don't know. I'm just here to like get what I need, the information, and like take it where I need to take it. Right. If it stays here and it's in my mind, then it's for me. Right. But a lot of times, like the information that we're getting in these rooms that should make us feel uncomfortable. I mean, and that's just, being in the should. But again, like I, I mean, it's for someone else. The information that I'm here to get is for someone else. It's a conversation that could change someone's life. So I think just flexing on that feminine energy and that women superpower in all aspects of the business and in this as well.
Shoot.
Well said. Well said. Definitely represent the queens.
It was
correct.
beautiful.
So,
Yeah, I think it was great. I think Toddy did an amazing job. I think it was. I mean, I've met her a couple of times, and I just think that she's beautiful what she's doing for her community and the people that she's impacting. And I loved her round. So many people
Mm.
can say whatever, but I loved her round. I loved how even if she didn't know how to do it, she figured it out. I like, you know what I mean? Like she'd never done anything. She'd never done one of these deals. She never had written that kind of contract, and just like the tenacity to move forward, to structure it so many different ways, is just amazing. So I'm glad that there was two of us. I'm excited for next year to bring more female judges, more people. At the end of the day, this isn't about that. A lot of times, like people are like, "Oh, we don't see that in the room," but at the end of the day, like there's a lot of us in this space, a
Yes.
lot of us,
Mm-hmm.
and we're just here to support each other. So yeah, that's what it comes down
Nice.
to.
For
Yeah.
sure. And tell me, I mean, what do you feel like
Yeah.
for those people who are watching it, what do you think are some of like the main takeaways they should have been honing in on now that you guys got to go through this? What do you think are some of the top things that the audience should have been holding on, not even from the
Yeah.
judge, but from the closer side?
Yeah. I think one of the things that the audience could get from this is like a structure, right? Like you don't have to have every single little detail figured out. And that's the reality at the end of the day. But if you have a decent idea of how the flow goes and a community to tap into, I think that you can be super duper successful, right? Like it goes in creative options. It goes into like the actual process and the scorecard, right? Like the things that we were judging on, those were all extreme pillars that allowed identifying pain, right? There was a lot of opportunity where we were identifying pain, and there was so many nuggets with that. And I love, Steve's such an educator. Obviously, he's like a sales trainer. So he kept on like those little comments that Steve was dropping, and like, oh, well, maybe we could have asked it like this, like drill more into the pain from the judges and how the closers were actually doing it. I think is where we can add a lot of value to ourselves, in just asking the right questions and positioning people so that they can answer and sell themselves. At the end of the day, we don't have to sell them. They can sell themselves if we ask the right questions.
Mm. They can sell themselves if they ask the right questions. I mean,
Boy.
bona fide closer herself. You see it. You see it. A couple
I'm
other
just here to
questions.
add value. That's what they tell me. I'm like, it's for you or it's not. Doesn't really affect me. I'm here to support you. And I go for no. Like, take it or leave it, buddy. Like, the world's still gonna go around.
You don't take it, you don't take it. Just like a
It's
doctor.
okay. Yeah.
Take the prescription, don't. I got other 5 other patients I need to see. All right.
Exactly. Exactly.
Well, good. So for if people want to find out more about you, I know you have. I mean, you're doing something absolutely vital, especially for people like myself.
Yeah.
Great visionaries, but don't have the integrated skill set, not as much organized. I mean, can you just
Yeah.
talk just a little bit about what you're doing to help people? Because what's the point of being a great closer, close a bunch of leads, but you don't know where any of your leads are. You know how they get to your transactions. Can you share a little bit of what you're doing to bless the community right now?
Yeah. So I started a company about 3 years ago after helping a few of my friends streamline their property management or streamline their sales process or even their education companies, right? And so it's called SOP Factory. And everybody knows because people always tell us, like, document your processes, write SOPs, write SOPs. And we don't know how to do that, right? As a visionary. So what I did was I built an entire team, and I'm the strategy behind it. So I find all the gaps within the organization and then build the actual resources. So the best way to explain it is like if you've ever read the book Traction, I'm your integrator. So I come in and I become a fractional COO for your organization, document your processes, build onboarding training for your employees. And another one of the big services that we offer is like, even if you're a one-man show, bringing a transaction coordinator in-house. So documenting all your exit strategies, how you're doing deal analysis and everything, and then basically plugging you in with a full-time admin, TC, even dispo assistant, depending on your deal volume, to really let you be in that visionary sales role and let an admin or support staff be in that transaction coordinating, admin, paperwork, the things that's really pulling you from being able to close more deals. And it's sopfactory.io. So if anybody's interested in that, I offer payment plans. I'm not cheap by any means, but I am here to support you and document your process so that you can scale and just make as much money as humanly possible.
You're not
Love it.
cheap, but you are
Yeah.
worth it. All right,
Thank
you
you.
are worth it. Bentley ain't cheap
Yeah.
either, right? All right.
Yeah.
She don't.
It's like COOs, you're gonna pay them and they're running your operations and stuff about 100 to 150,000 a year for like a legit COO. But we literally like document processes and do everything in like less than a month. So everything you wish your COO would do, but they're running around and like trying to get done. We handle that or take the admin support stuff off. So it's the cost of having the cost of not doing it is just stress and not putting processes in place.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
talking about. Yeah. Well, like I said, any final words? Any final words for the people out here?
I think just show up and show out. Like continue to like just show up for sellers. Like at the end of the day, people don't know that you exist, and you might be thinking that you're bothering them or you're annoying them by calling them or cold calling, but like at the end of the day, you have information that people need and a solution that is like people, like, this is really sad, but like people kill themselves over money every single day, right? And like you buying their house can mean the world to them, to their family. But it's also like the biggest cause of stress for people, and you know how to fix it for a lot of people that are facing hard times. So just don't put your own limiting beliefs and realize that you're really of service to other people, and that's how you make a lot of money.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Amazing. You're a go-giver. You're one of the shining stars in this industry,
Yeah.
let alone females in the game. Thank you,
Thank you.
Cream. Appreciate you, Chris. Thank you.
I appreciate you. Thank you guys. Thanks for continuing to do the work and carrying out this mission for everybody else, because it's a great community and it's something that we need to see more of. So I appreciate you guys.
Well received. Thank you, Christina.
Thank you. Bye guys.
Bye. All right. So, man, I love that. I love that girl. She's so smart. Every time, I met her like what 4 years ago at a Ground Zero event. We were both speaking on stage, and I remember Jennifer, her, and a lot of ladies were speaking together. And just every time you meet her, just that energy feels. And I didn't know she's such a lethal closer, right? I was like, whoa, you could close too. Oh man. So yes, so that's just dope to see someone who's ambidextrous with both the integrator, visionary, and closing skill set. Make sure you check out the Queen Christina. She's a real one. So,
Yeah.
you want to talk a little bit about the bundle? You want to talk a little bit about the bundle real quick, so people know about that.
Yeah, so if you're just hearing this for the first time or you're just catching up, we do have all 3 years available now. So 2021 or 2020, 2021, and then 2023, where we had a leap year, 2022. So we have 3 exclusive trainings. And now with this year's, it's 70, 80 plus hours of content, right? This is great for anybody that's new, anybody that has a team, anybody that wants to train a team. or train themselves. So if you're struggling in your closing abilities and you're not closing deals, this is a great start. And the price alone, I don't even want to emphasize that. But one deal can change your life, right? So when you factor that in, the cost is really an investment. So if you have the means for it, and if you're looking to better your skill set in the closing field, go to closersolympics.com and go grab that. It is a phenomenal training. I've put in a ton of my acquisition reps through it, and a lot of our students. So, it's amazing, and you'll resonate with whomever you kind of go with, right? There's so many closers. You're going to resonate with somebody. You're going to like their style, and then you can go implement that on your own calls. So, closerolympics.com. Go check that out.
Go check that out. Absolutely. So let's bring up one of the day one open run winners. He won the qualifying round. He actually got a contract. One of the only people in all the qualifiers to get a contract during the qualifiers. He was on day one of the open for the open run. Anthony Guy Carmona. It was just extra thrilled to present this young gentleman here. All right, he's like I said, he's in round one, 2023 Close Olympics open run. Anthony Guy Carmona from San Dimas, California. Anthony has an impressive 50 plus closed deals, and his closing style is collaborative instead of just being sales focused. He may not have the biggest social media following, but that didn't stop him from entering and qualifying for this year's event, being one of the only closers, like I mentioned, to get a signed contract during the qualifiers. Let's show my guy some love. Give my guy throw some fire emojis for my guy Anthony. Let's go. How you doing, sir?
What's up? Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
What's up, guys? How you guys doing?
Doing good.
Doing good.
So tell me, I mean, like I said, you were definitely impressive. You got a little hate. You got a little hate from the qualifiers because some people wanted other people to win, and no matter what they wanted, you got a contract. All right. And so people were like, oh, that was an easy lead. Oh, like he won't do anything like that in the main event. Main event, you got one of the biggest discount deals, price drops out of all the closers. I mean, just talk a little bit about the difference between the qualifying round versus being in the main event.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still getting used to being on like camera and stuff. So I was like super shocked for both of them. But for the first one, I mean, yeah, sometimes the lead gods just give you like an easy deal. So it's like kind of hard to like, to be honest, like I was like not trying to buy that at all. Like I was like, I don't really want this. So you got to pay me to buy this one. So I mean, it worked out being a pretty good deal. I didn't get to showcase too much. And on the second round, that was cool. I mean, that guy really needed help. I ended up, lead Zolo, again, came in with good leads. So I was able to work with that guy. My style is like real different. It's a real different approach. So like, I try to think about it like, how can I put this person and myself in the best position, and like a lot of times that's really difficult to think. You got to think about a lot of things. So I was like, instead of like trying to continue and like sell, close, it got to the end where I was like, all right, this kind of seeming to be a pretty good deal. I don't really want to like go too fast and try to like close the deal in a matter of time, or I could just like take my time and actually get the contract signed. So I ended up just taking my time while the judges were talking, and then I got the contract signed like right after, and it ended up being a pretty good deal. I got it signed the same day, like within that same like 2 hours. So that was cool. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's really one of the cool parts of this Close Olympics. Everybody thinks, obviously, we all have egos. We all want to win. We all are confident. But yes, we said day one, the judges were unkind judges, right? So before I get into that, I do want to talk to you about that real quickly. But I do want to highlight the collaborative energy here. The collaborative people, instead of saying, well, hey, that's your deal, you disable your own deal. I think, I believe Munif reached out to you, and he ended up buying the property, being one of the buyers. And so money was made right off the gate, all within us, the closers community that was right here, right?
Yeah, for sure. That was awesome. I mean, like within like the back shot that we had, like I got that signed, and Munif like reached out to me. He was a superhero this whole event. He reached out to me, put me in contact with like his biggest buyer out there, and we ended up just putting that deal together quick. And I was like, dang, I mean, this is moving along. So, in escrow, we're still working on a couple of tinks in the back end because he ended up having like a sister, and like we got to get her on board too. So once that's good, I mean, we're good to go. So that was cool. Monif's the man. Shout out to Monif. He's definitely like, he's the hero in this community for sure.
Superhero is the right word.
Yeah.
The latte assassin, no, for sure. No, like Munif is definitely a go-giver. What were you gonna say, Lex?
No, I said superhero was the right word for sure. He was so
Yeah.
active and helpful, and yeah, it was great.
Yeah, it's great. Even like it, I would say like the just being connected with like all of you guys, like that's like the main takeaway from this whole event. You know, like the assignment fees, whatever, like the getting your name out there, whatever. But like the connection that you get in the community is just like, you know, nothing compares to that. So like I appreciate you guys even like having this event and like having me on here. You know.
For sure, for sure. I think by all means we appreciate you appreciating that we're putting other players across the country on there. But understand, you beat out other people in the additions. You got to beat out people in the qualifiers, and like I said, you got Carlos on day one. So talk about that. I mean, who would you say was your favorite judge out of all 3 days? Who would you say is your favorite judge?
Honestly, Mitt was so funny, bro. Every time Mitt went up to talk, I was laughing the whole time. He gave someone a 4, if I remember correctly.
Golly.
It was so funny. But I mean, other than that, I mean, all the judges were good. I liked who did I like the most? Oh, I like Jerry. I learned so much from just hearing Jerry talk. I would like hire everything. Like I tell everyone to shut up around me. Like, yeah, I learned a lot from Jerry. The way he thinks and the way he like looks at deals, like, yeah, I picked up a lot of game from that.
Yeah, and I think that's a lot of value that you get a chance to hear from some of the top judges, and you get an insight, which is just, I mean, completely phenomenal. So I know we want to be able to, you know, I think that's a little bit from the closers. We get to hear direct insight from people that we may they're never gonna, you know, do a call review for us, right? So
yeah, exactly.
So that was really good. So those are the two sleepy Mitt, blood sugar low Mitt. The comments in the chat were probably some of the best ones. You know, those are some of the funniest ones out there.
That was the best. The chat made the whole event. That was so funny.
Yes. And so we're gonna keep you up here. We're gonna keep you up here. All right, but we do want to bring on another bona fide serious closer who's been, you know, I mean, this guy, I mean, he lit it up in the qualifiers. We want to bring up Richard Wonders here. He's the first time on the Closer Olympics. Richard Wonders is from, you know, Phoenix, Arizona with us. You know, he was competing in round 3. He was definitely looking to take the King Closer title. Rich started his real estate journey in 2019 and has quickly closed over 300 plus deals. He's earned the nickname the Novation King for helping investors all around the country learn his proven repeatable process. Rich was a fan favorite in the qualifiers. He was smoking the competition while smoking the hookah. All right, Mr. Richard Wonders. I mean, bring up Novation King with us. Let's get us all together. Let's bring us all together. What's up?
Let's go.
Man, I had a lot of fun, man. Dude, I definitely appreciate you guys putting this on, and I know so much went into this. I've gotten some awesome feedback. Got some great people too, kind of how Anthony was talking about. Being able to make these connections is so valuable. Like the longer I do real estate, the more I realize running the right people that you can help and that can help you. Like, so the relationships are
for sure. Lex, why don't you share a little bit about like why the when talking about relationships, how important these relationships to connect, especially for these closers, tapping in with the judges and the overall closer community.
Yeah, I've seen partnerships happen. I've seen affiliate, you know, I've seen people do events together. So I think that, I mean, for us, I mean, we've seen it firsthand where it provides opportunities and collaborations that we'd never expect. And even, you know, I'm sure you guys could both agree, like the community is pretty dope. Like when you really start connecting with people, it's like everybody's okay, everybody's positive, everybody's like-minded, everybody is actually doing something, right? They're movers and shakers. So I mean, you guys are movers and shakers, and I'm just honored to be in the circles, you know, here with you all.
Yeah, I agree. You get like bigger ideas when you like meet other people who like think bigger than you. You just start like naturally thinking bigger. That's like my favorite thing right there.
Yeah, and I think the more you see it, the more you see it, and more you see different ways to engage with your audience, different ways to close deals, different ways to, how to view your role now. Like you guys are, each people are looking up to you guys now. Of hey, this is how closers should operate. These are how go givers should move. And so speaking with you, Rich, tell me, I mean, what were some of your highlights of this year's Close Olympics? Now that you were in the qualifiers twice, all right, and you made it, and so talk a little bit about your journey to get here.
Yo, so when I first came in on my first round for qualifiers, I want to say unprepared. As far as the competition, I was unprepared. I looked at the scorecard. Oh, okay. Well, I close all the time. I was definitely wrong, and I got humbled my first time through. I didn't understand how the game works. Like, it's so you're a really good closer to have that. Really don't all the time have on a normal call, right?
I got most of this. It's chopping. I mean, you're good. The audio was chopping up a little bit. The audio's chopping. You're good. We saw you. You had the Iraqi Wi-Fi.
Sorry, bro.
Oh, you're good. We got you now. We good. All right. You got
by the Wi-Fi. Cool. No. Yeah. I went off there. I don't know if I can repeat what I was saying. Honestly, I forgot. I was in the zone.
Dang, sorry. I couldn't let. I was giving out too much fire. I don't want the audience not to hear all the fire.
No, I was. You know what it was? I was saying the time constraint really shows skills. Like normal skills, we also have everything. So it's like the sun, where it really shows like someone like RJ how good he really is. You know what I mean? Do it that way. Right? Because given enough time, most of us can close all these leads. But to be able to do it in that short time frame really shows the artistry. We can get right to the point. So that's something I've learned too, is that there's always people you can learn from. I think people like, he hasn't been in the business that long. He's killing it. Like, not farther than a lot of people. And big respect to him. That's the whole thing. You can learn from people brand new and people that are way ahead. And so that's cool.
For sure. Seeing like it's recapping for the audience, seeing people like RJ being able to close deals in a short amount of time, and like you give any of us an hour or two, we're gonna close with the best of them. But when that shot clock's on him, being able to be as efficient and succinct as possible, that's super valuable. If you guys love seeing the Novation King smoke the competition while smoking the hookah, put a fire in the comments, y'all. Show my guys some love here. Those are fire emojis. That's what I'm talking about. You were one of the most entertaining closer. I really wanted to see you go further along in the competition, just to see you flex the hookah while you was knocking out sellers. I think what makes it really cool is because you make it fun, and we got to do this year in, year out, day after day, getting beat up. I'm a big proponent. That's why I do my pre-call affirmations. I like to make my job fun. We're going to do this anyways, and your seller's going to pick that up here. Talk to a little bit real quickly about why, what made you decide to not take yourself so serious and I'm only locked in, turn everything off, and just had a good time with it.
Yo, so here's the thing. For a long time, I tried to be what I thought other people wanted. And then I just learned, look, if I can be myself, the people that are going to mess with me and going to like me for me, they're going to be attracted to me. And the people that I'm not for, that's fine. They've got other options on where they want to go. So yeah, every day, man, like I pride myself on just living on my own terms, doing what I want. I definitely try to be a good person and help as many as I can, but I'm also unapologetically me, right? So it's good. It's free. You know what I mean? With the hookah, yeah, we're going to have fun. If you bring me back next year, I'm going to have a bigger hookah. I'm going to have more hygiene. We're going to have more I might have all my boys in the background. We might be throwing a party, but dude, just silently, like we'll figure it out. But dude, yeah, you got to have fun at work, man. It's, life's too short.
I love it. I think that's quality. I think from the day ones. I think you guys just made a really good combination. I think from you guys being day one closers, I think you guys set the tone. I think you guys put people in a position to really, show people what's it like to be on here. And I really want to make sure people see that you guys are average guys that have extraordinary skill sets, and I feel like anybody could make it here. I think you guys led the example. Lex, any questions you had for them?
No, I mean, I'm taking stuff away. No questions. Just that hit me. It's like you gotta have fun on the job, right? Because we get to do this. We don't have to do this, and I know some of you guys may not have any 9-to-5 experience, right? But I certainly do, and I just remember how much I hated that. And 7 years now, and having no other person, cut my checks. Like, you have to have fun with it. That's what it really takes.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Yeah. And I think
Absolutely. Hallelujah.
Real cool thing. I mean, two things here, and then we're going to get into the next part here. One, I think you said something really important, and hopefully everybody's locked in here. You in life, let alone in closing, this is a get to, not a got to. We get the opportunity to make hundreds of thousands of dollars from our phones, where we don't have to go out to bang the pavement, knock on doors, dig up concrete. Which, I mean, shout out to all those people who do that, but my hands are used for contracts and counting dollars, all right? Not for working that hard. We get this opportunity. We don't got to do this. We could be doing that. So I really feel like we're really fortunate. And so that's first part. Second part, I think your vibes, Rich. I mean, you used to be a producer in the music industry before you got into the real estate, right?
Ooh.
In the music industry, we'll use that term loosely, but yes, I was a producer. I worked in a recording studio. Definitely have a passion for that. But yeah, I did that for a number of years.
See, your vibe attracts your tribe. Your vibe attracts your tribe. I really liked seeing you guys. I look forward to you. Both are definitely bright stars in this industry. Let me start with you, Anthony, and we'll finish up with you, Rich. But how can people get a hold of you, Anthony, if they want to reach out to you, want to collaborate, want to do deals with you? And then what's any final takeaways for your end?
Yeah, I don't post too much. I'm going to start posting more. The best way to touch base with me would be my Instagram, opulent_minority. And final takeaways. I mean, back to what Rich was saying about him just being himself. Like, I used to write down like everything that the Closers Olympics 1 and 2, like all the guys, my favorite guys. I'd write down like word for word what they would say. I'd be on the phone talking like Adrian, closing like RJ, like everybody. I was different, saying the exact same words, and like I found a way to like use their skill sets and like tailor it to me and like what's comfortable with me. And someone told me when I first started calling and helped me out a lot. It said like, I forgot who it was, but they said you can never say the right thing to the wrong person, and you can never say the wrong thing to the right person. That stuck with me.
Got bars to go. See, I love it. Everybody bar and the closers gumble together. Rich, why don't you let people know how they could get a hold of you? What do you have going on in your community, so people know how to connect with you? And then any final words for the people?
Yeah, I mean, the best way to happen. I posted a ton of free content, calls, I go live closing, close the deal live on. I go on Tap In with the radio community. We got over 260 members. We got deals going right. Links to my for Novation or flipping wholesale to a Novation. But no, appreciate that plug. Definitely. Big shout out to Closers Olympics. Everybody needs to get the bundle. Don't treat yourself. It's a stupid value. Like, they charge you way more money. So definitely happen if you haven't already.
Wow. Well, thank you. It was breaking up again on you, but we got the main part. We got the most important parts. Check out Novation King. One of the best. If you're looking to do more Novation, hit up Novation King. Tap in. Shout out to the Closers Olympics. Thank you. Appreciate you, Rich. Appreciate you, Guy. Absolutely. Salute to you, young kings. Keep closing, y'all. Perfect, man. And I just love highlighting these closes. I love highlighting the recap. I mean, if you guys are getting value out of this, if you guys, watching a replay now, or if you guys are locked in right now, go ahead and put number 2. Put number 2 in the comments. Put number 2. If you guys are getting double the value, double the fun here, put 2 in the comments. make sure we get you guys because we got somebody coming on here, locked in here. So let's go ahead and bring up, one of my personal good friends, Mr. Kendall Ficklin, the second K2. K2 is a close the Olympics ring for round 2. Kendall is a committed closer, a business owner, a husband, a dad from Atlanta, Georgia, who's been in the industry since 2015 and has already achieved an impressive success, having sealed and closed over 250 plus transactions. His entrepreneurial spirit has been a presence since the young age of 11 years old, and he's passionate about turning something seemingly impossible into reality. His ability to create relationships with clients of all backgrounds and make the home selling process a positive and relaxed experience and what makes him stand out. His seller transaction communication sequence has been a hit on as many calls as you've seen him. He's calling live on IG Live every day. My guy is a complete go-giver. He's from the ETA family. Shout out to Dr. Eric Thomas, ETA. I've known this guy personally. I've seen him grown personally. I've seen him at Alex's events and Momentum events. I've seen him study. He's grown. He talked about being in Close Olympics years ago. He started out, he balled out in the qualifiers, and he made it here to the actual Close Olympics. Let's bring up my guy, K2. Where's my guy, K2 at? Let me see my guy. Let's bring my guy up here.
What's happening, baby? What's going on?
What's going
What's
on?
up, K2?
What's up, my guys? Man, just a pleasure to be here. Pleasure to be here. Loving it. Y'all got the whole boxing thing. Like, it's the whole thing, bro. We got the press conference, main events, qualifying right there, undercard. Then we got the post conference. Like, y'all killing it, bro. I'm loving it.
Well, shoot. I mean, go ahead, Lex.
Yeah, Kate. I mean, tell us what I really want to know is, since Close Olympics, like, tell us about your workflow, your mindset, motivation behind it. Because I see you rocking with the contracts, and
Yeah.
I mean, you on fire.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think being in this business, like all of us been in this business for a while now. And I think after like a certain point in time when it's like it's your team, you just going every single day, especially as the boss, the CEO, whatever, like it gets draining, bro. And sometimes you need to get your cup refilled. Closes Olympics for me was like a cup refiller. Like even before the main event, I'm talking about when it was audition time. I was like, oh shit, it's time. Like, yes, like let's go. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like being around the closers and just being back in the trenches of actually being on the phones. I forgot who I was talking to the other day, but I got comfortable like CEO. Like I'm not on the phones too much. I'm like, y'all do this. I'm paying y'all do this. You know what I'm saying? Like, and for me, I'm the type of guy where I always been I'm a general, but I'm a general. I like to be on the front line. You know what I'm saying? Like that's really where I'm in my bag at. So being able to get back into that and just getting back on the phones and just feeling that energy again at the top of the year, like it really did wonders for me. And being able to just be in the energy of other people hustling and closing deals, bro. It's like if you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. Like when you around them type of people and just that energy, it fills you back up because you always pouring out, you always helping, giving. And sometimes ain't nobody pouring nothing into your cup. You know what I'm saying? So for me, that's what all of y'all have done for me, from the judges to the chat to the closers to the damn the qualifier, like everybody, man. So ever since the Olympics, man, we've been going. I'm building up my group now. You know what I'm saying? I got my group. I've been coaching for a while, but I had stopped. Like I said, I've been in just build business mode. You know what I'm saying? So we got the group and everything. I'm back doing some coaching and stuff. I'm on the phones calling. I'm loving the game. And I'm just getting that love back. Like I lost the love for a minute, just to keep it 1,000. Like lost the love for a minute, and I got the love back, and I'm loving it.
But the love looks good on you. Love looks good on you right there.
Appreciate you.
And so tell me, I mean, and just like I asked a couple of other guys, going from no one quite knowing how dope of a closer you are to being in the qualifiers, having to show and prove. Just because I knew you, I couldn't be like, hey, I can't stamp you, and I'm like, you got to go earn it. You got to go earn it.
Sure.
And, want to earn it, then coming and killing day one and making it day two. I mean, tell me a little bit about that progression and how you feel kind of moving through those different levels.
Yeah, I mean, I think really it's no other way. Like I didn't even want the shoe in. You know what I'm saying? Like I wanted to, let me start from the bottom. Let me win this. Because I don't want no excuses. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want no favoritism. I want to be here because I deserve to be here. You know what I'm saying? So going through that process, it was just part of the game, man. And I just love the game. And when I say the game, it's just business, whatever it is that I'm in at that time. Like it's all the game. And I just love it, man. It's a part of the process and progress. Like even now, like when I lost round 2, I was pissed. I was like, man, I damn near didn't even want to watch day 3. Like I was like, I don't even want to watch this. You know what I'm saying? But then like, you know, it's like I was just playing, but like for real though, I really was like in my bag. But as I'm watching it, I'm like, damn, like, man, I love this shit so much. And I can't wait to come back and be in the finals next year. You know what I'm saying? Like, and actually win it next year. And that's my mindset and my attitude when it comes to like just going through the progressions of getting here. And then you know what I thought about too? Ain't not one person on the Closers Olympics won the first year. Not even the GOAT, RJ. He even didn't win the first year. You know what I'm saying? So just thinking about that kept me like, you know what? I can't wait to keep going, man, and bringing it back. And I mean, like you said, man, just going through the process of meeting the other closers, like the other people who was in the qualifiers, like probably 90% of the, like I knew some of y'all who was like on the top line, you know what I'm saying, and putting it together and everything. But a lot of these other closers, I never knew them at all had it wouldn't have been for coming on to the Olympics and actually grinding with these people, going through the qualifiers, going through the events and things like that. So I'm thankful for that alone, and just being able to connect with cats that you never would have connected with before.
Yeah, I think once it just highlights that how big this closer community is getting. You know how big these closer community getting, and there are closers from all walks of life. People who you may look at Munif like, oh, this guy's not no closer, and have no idea he is a bona fide number 2 closer in the whole country. You know what I'm saying? So I think it really just tells you don't judge a book by its cover, and you can learn from everybody and anybody at all times. So I think that's really solid. Yeah. So we're gonna leave you on here. We're gonna leave you on here, all right? But we want to bring up some more day 2 closers. We want to bring up some more day 2 closers. We want to bring up my guy Max Jimenez, and we're definitely thrilled to have Max Jimenez from Phoenix, Arizona, back with us again this year. We first met him in 2021 when he wowed us with his amazing negotiation abilities. He went all the way to the finals where he won the bronze medal. There's no wonder why he's been able to close over 400 plus deals in the last 8 years. As the founder of the Closer Lab on YouTube, Max has been helping investors in Phoenix, Arizona, and all over the country and the world to become better closers. Listen, he went from I think he was doing hard construction to closing with the hardest and closing with the best of them. Let's bring up my guy, Max Jimenez. Where's Mr. Max? Bring my guy up here, Max Jimenez.
Oh, yo, what's going on, everyone? What's up, Elijah? My guy K2, Alex. What's up, bro?
What's happening, baby? What's going on?
Why you got a hat? Why you got a hat with my name on it?
Hey.
Well, it was yours. Remember?
You're the GOAT, bro.
You dropped it. That's all.
Oh, just kidding, brother. Just kidding. How y'all fellas doing, man? I love the energy so far. Man, K2's bringing it. Everyone so far I've been watching, so it's amazing, man. Glad to be on here.
Yeah. So Max, like I said, I mean, I remember meeting you several years ago, and I thought I thought you were just more kind of like a moral support guy. I thought you help out with the guys. I didn't realize at that time you were a bona fide closer. And I remember you telling me, hey, I'm going to David Sandler's trainings. You even told me like you should come to this. I don't care how good a closer you think you are. You can get better. And I saw you like, yeah, I'll get to that. I read the book. Everybody's like, hey, there's more than reading the book. The repetition, applying, and I literally seen you do those 2 a days, really locking in and refine your skill set. And really, you shaped and molded yourself to become the great closer you are today. Talk a little bit about that little journey so that people can see that this is all intentional. This didn't happen by accident where you're at right now.
No, absolutely, man. I appreciate you for sharing that. Yeah, it's that's always something that I hang my hat on because, I am a person that respects the craft. And I think Elijah and most of us that are on here understand that, right? If you don't respect the craft, then the craft won't respect you, right? And so you have to understand that that's a huge pivotal point in your career. And I see a lot of people struggle that try to get into sales, generally into what we do, which is wholesaling sales. And so basically, they don't respect the craft and they don't work on the craft. So then they end up questioning themselves, like, why am I not winning? Right? Why am I not moving forward? And so that was part of the journey, was what is the next level? Because here's the crazy thing about me, man. I don't have this extensive 10-year, 15-year sales career, right? Like continuously. On and off, I knew I always wanted to be an entrepreneur, but never really focused on the aspect of sales. And I had some sales jobs and stuff. And you just said before I came on here, I went on a little stint because I didn't know what he would do. Let me go take this job for like a year or two. That turned into like 4.5 years of construction. And then I was like, I'm done. So that was probably like around, 2015 or whatever. And then fast forward, I got into real estate full time, end of 2016. And I was just, just taking action and getting deals and locking up contracts and doing flips. But then it came to a point where like I was stuck. What I do next, and the opportunity now, getting to what your point that you pointed out, is that I got an opportunity to take my skill set, because I was driven to be the best and driven to be better than where I was. And so, yeah, I got an opportunity. A couple of our friends, most of us know, were attending some of those classes. And I'm like, where are you guys going? Like, what are you doing? And sure enough, man, 5 years later, investing in the craft, going 2 weeks and taking what we learned in the classroom and going and applying it, because, even though Sandler is not tailored to one specific industry, I had to learn how to, basically tailor it around what we do. And it worked out really well and put me in positions that I never dreamed of. And the investment was worth it. And obviously I'm here with you guys now, even to that point, which is, I'm very honored.
It paid off. It paid off, my friend.
Absolutely. It paid off a big time.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about it, because I think you were here in last year as well in the Closer Olympics. You was a top 3 finalist. You came out. I mean, you kicked in the door. People were like, whoa. Eyes turn when you're here. Like, wow, Max is a real force to be reckoned.
Yeah.
And so I think you saw what RJ did last year. When he did his 50 states, and so I seen you really like, I'm not getting caught slipping again. And I saw you really up your call. So what did you do this year to kind of get you ready for this year's Closer Olympics, you felt?
So I should have done 50 days. No, I'm just kidding. No. I called RJ and I said, hey, bro, I just want to let you know. And I said, hey, I love what you did with the whole 50 days again. That's a real inspiration for a lot of people, man. Like, people that are struggling and people that are wanting to get better. And so that kind of drove me like, hey, I need to get back, because I know the competition's a lot higher. It's going to be a lot better. I'm seeing some of these finalists, some of these runner-ups, like, this is the real deal, right? Which is amazing to see. Shout out to K2 and everybody else, Rich and all of them that, that came up, because they're competitive, you know what I mean? And they ain't coming to play. So I'm like, you know what? Even though I was already doing the Closers Lab once a week, I needed to step that up to get into more of a rhythm and more of a flow. So I did I didn't go as far. I didn't do as long as RJ did, but I went through. I think it was like right before the Closer Olympics. I did about 3 to 4 weeks, and I was doing about 3 hours a day doing the Closers Lab experience, and we did the whole thing from doing a morning huddle, looking at the scorecard, doing our morning affirmations and all that, and then jumping into the calls. So that prepped me, for somewhat to have a different mindset approaching the calls. It didn't go our way, but we showed up. So
right, and that's the whole thing. I think that's the best part about it. I feel like I didn't have my best day. I feel like we still, even us closers who didn't show up the best capabilities, I think we still showed the skill set, the techniques. And even if you feel like you may be the best, you could just have a bad lead and still have to do the best with what you got. Why don't you just, if you could, why don't you just share kind of about the difference from last year to this year? What do you feel like was like maybe one of the main differences?
As far as like the whole event, you mean, like in general?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, I really, this year was really great. I love the what is it called? The qualifying rounds, right? I think that was really, really awesome to see individuals get an opportunity, that maybe are not known really well. And this is the great thing about the Closer Olympics, man. And K2 alluded to this earlier, right? Like, it inspired him. It motivated him. And I think that was the thing that I when I was watching those runner-up competitions, man, I got motivated. Like I was like, damn, okay. And this is what I was saying. I had to go back and I'm like, I got to come in with, I got to step up my game. And, you know, this ain't no like lay down. And, you know, and that was really the great thing about it. And I just love the whole vibe. And something that I learned with the Closers Olympics is that regardless, we're all in competition. And I think K2 alluded to this before I came on, is that we were all like, I called him, we got on an IG live, like, you know, even though it's a competition, but it's also a brotherhood and basically, you know, a good, what is it called? Brotherhood, basically, where everybody's like sharing and everybody's, you know, making sure everybody's doing good.
Yeah, the collaborative and community aspect. I mean, and I think Lex, I mean, you highlighted a little bit of that. I mean, what's your thoughts about that, Lex, about what you've seen from Max and you know that collaborative go-giver mentality he has?
Yeah, I think the way I look at it is Max has been making tons of deposits into the community, whether they're beginning or they're already established, and those deposits over time they add up, right? And the withdrawals coming, whether that be in the form of blessings or deals or more opportunities or bigger podcasts and stages. Like I see that for you, bro. So I'm excited to see it from my lens, and whatever we could do as a community to support that and whatever intention that is, we're happy to push that forward.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you. I love it.
Nice. So if you guys, like I said, if you guys appreciate all the fire Max brought to you to the table, go ahead and put an X in the comment. Put an X in the comment for Max. He X'd out, you maxed out. Put an X in the comments for him. Show him some love. All right. So I'm going to bring up, I'm going to keep you guys all these day 2 closers up here. We're going to bring up Toddy. Here. So let me go ahead and I want to introduce Toddy. We are thrilled to introduce our next closer, competing from the Queen Closer title. Toddy, born in Ethiopia, is a real estate investor, a single mom of 2. When she was laid off from her job as a waitress on the Las Vegas Strip during the pandemic, she decided to take a chance and start virtually wholesaling real estate with just $400 to her name and determination. Amazingly, she closed her first 6 deals within the first month, netting herself a whopping $38,000 in assignment fees. Then in the market, pardon me, that was in the market 2,000 miles away where she even lives. So she virtually wholesaled. Since then, she had made multiple 6-figure years in wholesale fees. She's flipped houses, she's bought and held rentals, and grown an incredible virtual real estate community to over 2,000 people. She's also helped many others earn multiple 6 figures themselves. She's one of the great future queen closers in this game. Let's bring up Miss Toddy. Let's get her locked in. Where you at, Miss Toddy? How you doing?
Hey, everyone. What's up? Thank you for having me.
What up, Toddy?
What's up? Max, you are a formidable opponent, man.
You too. I mean, you know, a few more seconds and you would have had that in the bag, like ching.
Literally a few more seconds. Literally.
I thought it made it in. I was like, yes, and I clicked back over to StreamYard and I was like, oh,
it's and so I know we talked a little bit about it before, but talked a little bit about, you know, especially being a female closer. You know, asked Christina about it, but being represented for the females out here, what did it feel like, you know, closing with it? You got all this testosterone, you got all these closers wanting to close it. I mean, you see in the chat, we're all kind of going at each other a little bit here and there. Talk to us about being a closer from a female perspective for this year, being in Closer Olympics.
So honestly, I felt a lot of pressure because I felt like I was like representing the whole female community. I'm like, dang, I'm the only woman. So I think I put extra pressure on myself to show up and perform. And it might have made me a little bit nervous because I've never, you know, I've gone live with my community and on YouTube, and it's a lot more relaxed. Like Deal Desk was a lot more easygoing, but this was like, this is the real deal, you know? And I'm like, I'm putting on for all the women in the whole world that do sales. So
come on, Beyonce. Come on.
I will say it was really fun. I'm really glad I did it. I got so many like DMs and people reaching out to me like, I'm so glad you did that. Like I was always so nervous to get on the phones. Like as a woman, like you made me feel more confident. And that's really what I was going for. Like just to show girls, women, whatever, like you can do it too. It could be male dominated, but that doesn't mean that men have any advantage over you.
Nice. Nice. So for those who are watching, and they want to get into the ladies who want to get into, closing, just like they saw you, Toddy. I mean, what are some things that they should be working on right now to put themselves in a position so they can come and represent the Queen Closers as well?
Yeah, I think just reps, like for my first 2 years, I didn't have no acquisitions people. It was just me on the phone 6, 7, 8 hours a day or more. And it's just making those calls over and over. And it is nerve-wracking in the beginning, but eventually you just feel like you're having a conversation with anybody, like your friends, your family. It becomes normal to have these conversations. And you realize that even though some people might be uptight, that scary, mean person that you're worried about is such a blue moon. And you do get a thicker skin. So I would just say work on your reps, work on having a thicker skin. Not every call is going to be a great call, but just try to bring your best self to every call.
Wow, she's giving out some gems. She's giving out some gems, y'all. Can you guys please put in the chat, Queen? You guys type Queen in the chat box, in the comments. Type Queen. Let this Queen, let her know that her effort, her energy was felt and appreciated. What you got for her, Lex?
Yeah, I mean, I was taking a look at your YouTube channel, so I was like, oh, these are all great videos. So I just want to encourage everybody in the audience to go check that out and send to subscribe. But my biggest question is, the pressure of the competition. Like, did you look back at the tape and did you see, I could have corrected this, or I could have maybe sped up my pace or slowed down? Like, did you get any feedback for yourself on that?
Yeah, definitely. It's funny, but because for some reason on that call, I did something that was opposite of what I normally do. And I didn't do it intentionally. It just happened, I think, from the pressure of it. Normally, it's funny because I always talk about emotional selling and trying to get deep and emotional with the people. And I think it was kind of awkward because I was on this time frame and I had that in the back of my mind, hurry up and get to the close. So I wasn't building that emotional connection with the sellers. And, sadly, it took 2 more calls after the actual Closers Olympics to really get to know them better. But I would say that emotional side, when someone really opens up to you and tells you what's going on with their life, that's really where the sale is. Yeah. And I wasn't able to display that. And I also think that's the advantage that women have. We kind of are like that therapist on the phone for a lot of these sellers. And I wish I would have got a chance to display more of that in the Closers Olympics. I think I definitely would have shown my best side of closing if I was more focused on just getting to know the seller better versus getting to the point of the competition. But, I learned my lesson, and I definitely brought that into all my calls this week that I've been having, just trying to get deep, sharing something with them, being vulnerable, and building that emotional connection, which is the most important.
Yes. No,
yeah, well said.
Yeah, and if you guys are watching this now, comment any questions you guys have. And for any of the day 2, day 1 closers, comment any questions you have. We want to make sure this is an interactive experience with you guys. We want to lock in. Let's go ahead and let me ask you this question. I'm sorry, go ahead, Max. Go ahead, Max.
I was gonna say to Toddy's point is that I can't remember who I was talking to about this. Is everything gets suspended in almost a bottle of 30 minutes, right? So everything gets suspended, and it's in that little that you're under that microscope of 30-minute window. So you're trying to make everything happen, and I feel I got to feel that's what most people don't realize if you haven't been doing it or if you haven't been part of it. I know that was my challenge the last time, was getting in that 30-minute window where everything gets suspended, and the good, the bad, the ugly, and it's it just explodes.
Yeah, it's a tight time frame to build authority, build trust. Let them know you're a serious person, not wasting their time. Flip to making an emotional connection. Get them to agree that today's the day they're going to make a decision and sign. It's a lot of pieces, and it's funny because I'm analytical just like that seller was. So I had everything written down, don't forget to hit all these points. And, it's a lot because we want to show the world our skills. But at the same time, I think it's good for us too, because as much of closers as we are in our day-to-day life, we can always get better. And this is a good place to reflect on that with other people who are really skilled too.
Excellent feedback.
Yeah. So K2, what was something you appreciated? And, I mean, your sister's a boss. She be closing deals and doing her thing. You just what's something you appreciated that you noticed from Toddy from her round when she went?
Man, for first off, I appreciate the fact that okay, when Toddy, like you can tell, like with all of us, like when we are, like she said, when you under the clock, it's like you got to do everything that you normally do in a compressed period of time. And in order to do it, you need what we call a lion, like a seller that is decision driven. Yes, no, you don't need nobody that's going to be like a turtle, super analytical. You need like a, yes, I'm ready to go, cool, right? So for Toddy, I like the fact that even through having what I would call a turtle seller, somebody who like, all right, he knew all his numbers. Like when Toddy was talking to him, he knew every detail about every single thing. And even getting still, she was still able to get him to a point. I didn't even think you was gonna do it, Toddy, for real. I was like, yo, how is she gonna get this guy to sign right now? He wanted to know every sentence. I thought he was gonna read the contract for 2 days. Like, you know what I'm saying? But you ended up actually, I think the fact that you made the connection and you were able to pivot, even when you were kind of trying to figure out the creative situation, you were able to pivot within the call and still get him to actually agree to terms on. And these were like, it wasn't even, I don't even think it was cash. It was creative, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. So you was able to get a seller to pivot from wanting cash to wanting creative and being an analytical guy who in normal circumstances would take 2-3 days to read a contract. You were able to get them to agree to actually do it. I think that was fire. And I think you were able to do it because of your tonality, your pace, just the way that you made it feel on the call, which is a big, big advantage, like you were saying, about when you're a woman. Like when you are a woman, like people just like if a woman called me, like when she wants something, and a guy calls me, he wants the same thing, I'm more likely to listen to what the girl got to say, and I'm probably gonna hang up on my man. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's just what it is. It's like the tonality. So I appreciate the fact that you was able to pivot and maneuver throughout that conversation, even when you had somebody on the line that would seem as though they were like investing 105. You know what I'm saying? Like, like you're still able to come in and do what you had to do.
Nice. See, that's what I'm talking about. Max, would you give him, you see that you, I mean, now, like I said, you were in the finals and Toddy, and like people picked Toddy to be in the finals this year. People picked K2 to be in the finals this year. Obviously, you were a fan favorite to be in the finals this year. Would you kind of share with them a little bit about what can they do this year during off season, to get ready for this coming year, being that you were there before? What piece of advice would you give to both of these up and coming stars?
Yeah, I mean, I think they both have a great shot, by the way, and a few other ones. It's really, it comes down to, something that, that just, the blueprint's there, right? Like RJ's done it. I think it's, when you're, Toddy hit a little bit on this, when you're having a conversation with the seller, it's all about flow and rhythm, right? And so if you can if you can just slide into the competition, either have some type of window where you are, putting in the work, practicing. Unfortunately, you're not going to be able to determine what lead you're going to get. So you have to be prepared for all scenarios. But the biggest thing, and looking at me, my own improvement, where I could do is actually being to be able to practice with a shot clock, right? And I laugh at a lot of people always say, "Oh, I can close this, and I'm going to be this." Like when that shot clock goes off, like all that stuff, all the bets are off. But definitely, I would say, I know you guys are probably going to be coming back. I would say practice. I would say even if it is turning on a shot clock while you're doing it, that is something that you can definitely have fun with it. I know most of you guys did. My first time go around, I didn't have fun with it. I had fun with it this time, going with RJ, doing the memes and all that stuff. Like we went all out, right? Promoting.
What's that? Huh? It was legendary, bro. Like the lead up. Yeah, oh my God.
Yeah. So, but yeah, have fun with it. I mean, and it's a really great community that that will open up doors to incredible opportunities for sure.
Nice. Well, like I said, let me get from you real quickly, Max. Where can people find you? What you got going on? And any final words?
Yeah. So easy on all socials. Real Max Jimenez, same handle across all socials. Real Max Jimenez, or my website, thecloserslab.com. Thecloserslab.com. So that's my website. Final words for those of you that are watching and you're inspiring and you're looking at us and you're saying, man, I can never be there. First of all, invest $197. I don't ever ask people to do anything beyond their financial means. About 7 years ago, I would say, well, 2015, that almost 8 years ago, I was scared to death to pay $97 to go to a real estate event. I shared the story before on this live because I didn't have the money, right? And I did it anyways. You know, and it's not a lot for a lot of people. And that was the event that changed the trajectory of where, you know, where I'm at today. And I would say this, even though this is not a live event, the $197 that you're going to spend, it's not even a spend, it's actually an investment, could change your life. And I don't even say could, it will change your life, because you might be stuck somewhere and you're watching those videos and you're watching all these guys close and talking to someone like, oh, that's the piece I'm missing. Boom. And that's going to get you over to where you need to be successful. So I highly recommend that.
Nice. Okay. I appreciate you. K2, sir, tell me, how can, if people want to connect with you, close deals with you, want to see what you got going on, how can they connect with you? And any final words for the people?
Yeah, man. So if y'all want to connect with me, just hit me up on Instagram at Kendall Ficklin 2. We got our new community that's starting up, class actually starting tomorrow. So you can DM me if you want to tap in with that. You know, some words for the people, man. I tell my people this all the time, like a seed a day keeps the drought away. All right. You got to drop a seed every single day, man. If you cannot go to sleep without doing something that's going to at least a baby step, a toe step, it don't matter. Anything to get you and push you along the trajectory of getting what you want to do. If you don't drop seeds every day, eventually you're going to feel it and you're going to see it in your bank account and your progress and whatever it is that you're looking to do. So I highly suggest every single day you figure out a way to drop a seed. And that's my word for y'all.
See, he got it. Pastor Kendall, he got it in them. Shout out to ET, shout out to ETA family. He's a true star. Let's bring up Queen Toddy. All right, our Ethiopian queen here. All right. So, would you let people know how they could get you're going to be on a TV show coming or did that already happen?
It airs in 2024, so no spoilers, but I definitely did my thing on there. I was on this reality TV show. It was like an entrepreneur challenge show. And I brought up my real estate investing company, Offer George, and put on for that. And that was awesome. I got to meet a lot of like very high level entrepreneurs doing like 15, 20, 30 million a year. And it was just so cool. Wow. Sorry guys, I'm on mommy duty and my kids are always crazy. In the background, you can hear them screaming. But one thing about the Closers Olympics that I feel like we never talk about that is apparent what we're doing is it's kind of a virtual wholesaling competition. Like when you get on here, you don't know where your lead is going to be. You have to use the softwares that you use in your market on a day-to-day to try to figure out how to comp in this market you probably never have heard of. Like I know I never heard of the city in Pennsylvania my lead came from. So I think it's something to point out and talk about because I'm sure all of you guys do virtual in your business. I'm sure you're not just wholesaling in your backyard, and it is a different set of skills. Picking what market you're in, like figuring out how to analyze the leads in the market just by looking at a map and sales prices. All of that is a skill that you have to learn. And I will say that it takes a lot to get comfortable with that. And that's something that I have gotten really good at. I've been wholesaling in like over 12 different markets. And I started off in a market 2,000 miles away and one by one just learned different markets and did deals in them, right? So I know there's a lot of people that help people close deals. I really help people establish themselves in markets that they're unfamiliar with because not everybody lives in North Carolina or Florida or somewhere where it's great to do deals. Some people live in LA and New York, and if they step outside, it's going to be very hard to get a deal. So I think leveraging technology, leveraging virtual markets is the best way. I'm from Vegas where stuff doesn't sit on the MLS for 2 weeks. So we have to get creative. So that's kind of what I do. I'm on all platforms as Toddy Virtual, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, whatever. And if you guys check out my YouTube channel, you can literally build a virtual wholesaling business for free if you just actually follow. And like Kendall said, actually plant your seeds and do the work. It's not going to be easy. It's super simple though. It's not going to be easy. It's a lot of grind, but I highly encourage everyone, especially females, step out of your comfort zone. The place outside of your comfort zone is where all of your riches and your future lies. And I had to do that. Coming on the Closers Olympics was super uncomfortable. And I'm so glad I did it, even though I didn't win. So I definitely encourage everyone, try out for the qualifiers. Try to be on here next year. Women, please don't let me be the only person on here next year. And I hope to see you guys on next year.
That's what I'm talking about. Everybody in the comments, put day two. So we show some love to these day two closers. Appreciate you all. Thank you, Toddy. Thank you, Max. Thank you, K2. Appreciate that. Put day two in the building. And shout out to the chat is on fire. The chat's on fire. Shout out to the kebab language over here. It's going down. I love it.
We all get kebabs. You get a kebab. Alex, you get a kebab. K2, you get a kebab. Hey, don't forget to leave with your kebabs.
My son.
Bro, the chats be legendary, bro. That's all I got to say. Like that's the real MVP be the chats on whatever we doing. Like
I love it. I appreciate y'all holding it down. Once again, make sure you guys get the Closers Olympics bundle. Go and get the Closers Olympics bundle. It's usually $1,000. You guys are getting for $200, $197. You're getting 2020 replays, 2021 replays, and 2023 replays. Is over 70 plus hours of pure closing live action. There's nowhere else you're going to be able to get the ultimate edutainment. You're also going to get the Closers mini course plus 4 bonus sales trainings. This is what you're going to use not only this year, next year, the year after. Not only are you going to close deals, but when you get your acquisition team, you're going to have your VAs look at this. You're going to have your acquisition guys look at this. And now you're going to have your dispo people look at this. And you're going to be able to get not only value this year, but this is a gift that keeps giving and producing and putting money in your pockets, putting money in your organizations. Do yourself a favor, get the bundle, and let's lock in, okay? So now we're about to bring up day 3 closers for the Closers Olympics. This is going to be one of the most important people in the game. These are the 3 best closers in the country. We're going to start off with Naaman from the Bible, Naaman Taylor. All right, he's the bronze medal winner this year. He's been making waves in real estate since 2020, closing incredible 100+ deals while also owning a car rental business. Naaman from the Bible has served 13 years in the U.S. Army. Not only was he laying hands on people, but he was slinging the hot lead, making him a master communicator and an expert in high-pressure situation. He's back to 2023 Closer Olympics to compete. He came close to winning the King Closer. He crushed it the first round. Naaman from the Bible. Let's bring him on up. Let's bring up Mr. Naaman. Let's see how our guy doing. What's up, Mr. Naaman?
What up, Elijah? How you doing, my man? What's going on? Excited to be here, dude.
Yes, Elijah from the Bible, Prophet Elijah, and
pray for the competition.
And Alexander the Great over here. All right, so we got a lot of prestigious people. So Naaman, we talked about it beforehand, and like you had me on for with your community, your closer community, a couple of times, and I just see the way you poured into people. You mean just a couple of years ago, I've literally seen you pour into people, and I think what K2 said, by you planting seeds into people, then you're gonna see the harvest. And I feel like this year showed all the seeds you planted over the last couple of years, and you harvest this year. Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up because I love to share my story. I feel like in 2021 when I did this, I was in a little bit of my cocoon some, like I really wasn't myself. This year, I bust out that thing like a butterfly, dude, just ready to take off. This was amazing experience for me and our community to be able to, put on for the Closers community. And I had a lot of fun calling the Lead Zolo leads. If anybody was a winner from this, it was your Lead Zolo lead sponsor.
For sure.
They had some great leads from everywhere. I mean, from all over the country. I'm surprised they weren't getting leads from other countries like China, Iceland, India, who knows, right? Like I was very surprised at the quality of leads that we were able to get from them. So shout out to my guy Drew from Lead Zolo, man. Yep. I had a lot of fun just competing, calling those leads, and then putting in the work.
I mean, you were eating objections like juicy kebabs. Like there's no problem when you was doing. You was really working through the deals. Even that guy who's on, is on the shitter, right? He's sitting there. I mean, I seen people were going crazy over it. Talk a little bit about how you was able to navigate, and you had the burner phone going. Talk a little bit about how you navigate through that.
Yeah, the guy on the toilet, he probably had a big juicy kebab before he sat on the toilet. So with that guy, what a lot of people didn't get to actually see with that guy, and I was kind of shooting my shots here like a cowboy with that dude. I called him first. He was on the toilet, and he told me to call him back. But I asked him before I got off what exactly he wanted for the property, and so I ran my MAO real quick, and I had my VA send the contract to him while he was still on the toilet for him to look at, right? Because I wasn't sure how long it was going to be. So what they didn't get to see was, when I did call him back, I didn't have a ton of time. And if I didn't send him that contract, I closed it with about a minute and a half left. But if I didn't send him that contract beforehand and been prepared and asked those questions while he was on the toilet, I wouldn't have got that contract closed, right? So even though he's on the toilet, I took just a couple seconds there to shoot my shot to get a little bit more information from him before I let him go. Getting information while they're on the toilet, shooting your shot, and getting as much information as possible from these leads before you move on is super important, guys.
And you was as cold as Iceland, man. I mean, you just had it dialed in. I mean, I think what you did, I think Munif set the tone. What RJ did for year one, I feel like Munif did for this year. He set the tone. He set the tone where within the first 10 minutes, he almost had a lady on going to a computer getting the contract. So everybody was like, whoa, it is about to be on. And so from him going, then you coming in locking up a contract. I think we all had to tighten it up. We had to tighten up our ties here. What type of confidence you felt after getting that contract? How did you kind of feel? Because we saw you going spicy in the comments after. So talk to us about that.
Yeah, I was having fun. I think I should have won an MVP award for most vicious comments. The first year, what people don't remember is I went after Munif the first year as well. So when Munif went the first year, he absolutely crushed it. He did the latte thing, and he won. In my mind, he won part of the competition already that first day. It was like, wow, who's this guy? He's killing it. And then I went after him. So I was like, yo, this is a tough. Who wants to go after that masterclass act, right? So I go next, and I'm like, these contracts, these must be really good leads because he got a contract. I'm about to go get one too. So I was just hitting people hard the same way I did this year, but I wasn't as good on the phone then, just trying to get a contract, right? So I took the same approach this year as I did then, and I went after Munif again this year, but it worked because I got better. I got better, right? I was working really hard on my process for multiple years in a row. And I want to say, like, to a lot of people, I talked to one of our students today, and she was saying how she didn't feel like she deserved to be doing some of these things, and she didn't feel like she fit in this industry, And I told her, I said, when you get better, you don't know who you're gonna become. Things are attracted to you almost like a magnet, right? They're attracted to you, and as you become the person you're supposed to be, the success will move towards you. You don't have to go looking for it. You don't got to go duck. You don't got to move around and go looking for it. It's just gonna come to you, right? So by putting that work in and getting better, I was able to become a better closer. Now it's just like getting buckets. I mean, it's easy money. Right? I can call a lead. I don't have to drag my knuckles like a caveman anymore. I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm able to, shake and move very, very easy throughout the process whenever I'm closing deals.
Right. But I mean, you really have a strong leg to stand on because you showed up and you proved and you delivered to another level. I feel like, for those of people watching, I think you really you showed why you're naming from the Bible. I think during the closer, for day 3 during the championships, I think you really hit home with, obviously we all want to make money. We all want to close deals. We all want to put as much money in our pockets as possible. But you really talked about being a 7-figure person in all 3 levels. Can you just break down a little bit? Why did you take time to share that when most people just want to, highlight being closer and having skills and techniques, and that's all you need to know? Why did you go and share that when you had the platform?
Yeah, that's the message that I love to share with people. And sometimes they look at me like I'm crazy when I share it. Like they don't understand it. Like some people just look at me all crazy, like they got a lazy eye or something. And I'm like, dude, this is what you have to understand. If you can be a 7-figure earner, a 7-figure father, a 7-figure business partner, a 7-figure husband, that's how you win in life. But people don't understand it. Look at me like I'm crazy sometimes. And I'm like, dude, if you can understand that aspect, the money will come. Money will come. It's really being good in those other parts, and then staying in the industry that you believe in and surrounding yourself with people that are smarter than you, and then staying on the path, but continue to improve in those areas. You'll win every time.
Powerful.
And so I love to make sure I share that, because not enough people realize, they chase the bag, chase the money, and they don't realize, like, hey, it's really more about being a good father. It's really more about being a good husband. It's not so much about just trying to make as much money as possible.
For sure. I know Lex was semi-retired at like 22 himself over there, but he was a really big person of, inspiring people, connecting with people. Before being on these next two closers, Lex, I mean, that's really kind of a lot of your message you put out at a young age that you lived by. How did that impact you when you were just talking about, being a full 7-figure person?
Yeah, I think once you dial in internally, the externally is actually fairly easy. I mean, the hardest game to master is it's not the sales game or the marketing game or the business game. It's like the mental game. It's the spiritual game. It's the physical game of having more energy and capacity. So, yeah, I mean, I love what you're saying, and I agree. I mean, in my biggest months and my best years, I look back and I realize that when I was in momentum, it was because I was dialed in, tapped in mentally and spiritually, right? And then everything becomes easy.
Nice. I think, I feel like you guys really embody that. I think that's a big part of it too. Like, by all means, make money, close deals, but be a full rounded person. So I really like that you highlight that. So we're gonna keep naming up here, but I do want to bring up the number 2 closer in the country, back-to-back silver medal winner, Mr. Munif Saza. He's a great excitement that we welcome back Munif Saza, one of the most beloved closers in the Closer Olympics history. Not only was he the first open run qualifier to place in the finals, but he also won the silver medal winner in 2021 and in 2023 Closer Olympics while sipping a latte. The latte legend himself defines that coffee is really for closers. His approachable and friendly yet methodical style of sales made him a crowd favorite, but don't be fooled. His real talent lies in closing deals. He's a closer, a master closer, a lethal closer, overall one of the best go-giver closers in the game, the latte legend himself, Mr. Munif. Let's bring our guy up here. How you doing, Munif?
Hey, what's up, guys? Thank you so much for having me. I love that intro. Guys, if you're watching, Elijah is definitely giving me more praise than maybe I deserve. So thank you. Thank you. No, I'm really excited to be here. We actually have family here visiting. So, we were actually literally had like a wagon full of kebabs that we were literally eating. And so, I was ready to chat. Hey, I wish I could, ship some kebabs over to you. Elijah, I know you want some kebabs. I'll put some in a rocket. I'll send you some kebabs if I can.
Send them over.
Yeah. Now, none of them is going to be turkey. So we got chicken, we got beef, we got lamb, no turkey though. So,
right.
I know you love turkey. So.
Speaking of turkey, you were closing deals. I think you were one of just highlights the fact that you're a go-giver. You weren't even up on day 2, and you was helping day 1 closers. Not only did you help float by a deal from Anthony, but you also helped TC transaction coordinate with your lovely wife. Love, you help create the TC and helping someone who didn't quite know how to do the subject to agreements. You stepped up. Talk about how you just took things over the moon like that.
So, thank you. So, so Guy's deal was in Houston, and we buy cash and creative all over Houston. So as soon as I knew he had like a multifamily, large land deal in Houston, I was like texting my partner, Chai. His name is literally Chai T, and he's Indian, so it's just pretty fitting. So I text Chai, I go, hey, there might be a deal here. He says, send it over. And then that same day, Guy sends over the contract. We look at it, we underwrite it, and we send over an assignment contract for $10,000 assignment fee to Guy. We're still doing some due diligence on it, but it's very, there looks like there might be something there. So we were really excited because, Closers Olympics is great for us, for the branding, for the community, but it's a great place to buy deals. Like, people locking up deals every single day. I mean, you got the best people in the entire industry calling these leads, and when there's a lead that's in your market, it's like you're right there. And same with Ricky. Ricky was, he did a really good job presenting a sub-2 offer. He just didn't have the paperwork, and that broke my heart because I'm like, look, we literally have a service where we provide paperwork for people. So, I wanted to help Ricky out. But I also wanted to buy that deal because it was a creative deal in San Antonio. So I figured, hey, maybe it might be a good fit for me. Maybe I could buy it. So I definitely wanted to help him out and see if we had an opportunity to do something there too.
Nice. And how's Pops doing? Pops doing good over there?
Yeah, he's doing good. Thank you so much for asking, because he was at the physical therapy center for a while. It's kind of like an old building, smells like ammonia, has roaches, things like that. So we got him out of there. We got him home where he can, spend his time outside in the backyard in the sun, dialing sellers with me. You know what I mean? Because I'm teaching him how to close. I'm teaching
dad how to close too.
Yeah, because he's an architect, and he switched careers to cybersecurity. But now, after the stroke, we retired him. So I want to actually bring him back in the business, have him flip houses, close deals with me and my wife. So we're bringing Pops into the game.
I've seen from time to time, when you started off, it gets hard. I mean, you were in cybersecurity beforehand. I think when we did the first year last year, you was in a barn house somewhere with bad Wi-Fi, and you still figured out how to get on the calls. I mean, you had ashy elbows and all, and you still found a way to get on the call and make it here through the audition. Talk a little bit about going from year one, where no one was kind of looking for you. Now everybody's rooting for you, and you can't be out here making calls with no feather lips. You had to really get there and really be confident. And talk a little bit about how year two, how the difference from year one.
Definitely. I mean, some would say I had skinny spine year one. I was definitely a newbie, a green, closer. But I had a lot of inexperience. I had the ability to build a rapport. I had good tonality, but I actually didn't know how to negotiate. And so that was difficult for me. So you saw that. You actually saw that. If you watched my performance year one, you could see I'm friendly. I had charisma. I could connect and do all that stuff that I'm known for. But after that, I had a hard time actually, driving the deal home. I spent a lot of time on sellers like chatty Cathy's that would just talk. And I was so friendly, so nice. I had a hard time bringing them home or telling them maybe I'd call them later. So that was really difficult for me to, that was something I.
Uh-oh.
Oh, see, he got the Iraqi Wi-Fi.
Somebody put some gasoline on his Wi-Fi.
Dang, see, man, how am I supposed? I mean, he's about to drop the fire. When you listen to it and you hear it crackling when something's good, it's like that crackling bacon. You just hear, you smell like, it's undeniable. I really see how that could work. Right? What do you think, Lex?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. He's stuck there.
He's about to say something really powerful, but what we're gonna do, we're gonna go ahead once he gets back in place, we'll bring him back up here. But I feel like, when you're dealing with these level closers, people at this level, it's really clear to see that they take their talent extremely seriously. They take their skill sets extremely seriously. And I think speaking seriously, I mean, this third, closer, the king closer, I mean, highlight should be in neon lights on Broad Street somewhere, and so let's go ahead and introduce the king closer himself. Let's go ahead and get Mr. King Closer himself up here, Mr. RJ Bates. Get ready for RJ Bates the third, 2021 King Closer, 2023 King Closer, back-to-back years. Started his real estate business in 2014. RJ has since perfected his direct and effective closing style while acquiring and selling over 2,000 plus properties and conquering the famous 50 deals, 50 states, and 50 days challenge. He said he's going to defend his title. He Veneveta Vici. He came, he saw, he conquered, and he did it all while still somehow being a complete go-giver in this industry. Let's hear from Mr. RJ Bates III, Mr. King Closer with the belt, looking fresh. He has another belt on the way. Oh, how you doing? RJ?
Let me talk to you, boys. All right. Y'all want to know what it feels like to be a king closer? Y'all want to know because none of y'all have ever done it. All right. It feels like you're in Iceland and you're a cowboy floating on a butterfly, eating some juicy kebabs.
Woo!
That's what it feels like, boys. And everyone in the crowd is chanting, RJ Bates. Yeah, that's what it feels like to be the king closer, baby. And hey, I'm excited. I saw Max Jimenez got his prize for finishing fourth place. He got my hat saying the GOAT, baby. I appreciate him repping my hat tonight. That sounds good. Hey, everyone else, your prize, a pillow of my face, is in the mail, baby. It's coming. You get to sleep with this mug every night so you can remember you lost to this, baby. Yeah.
So you can have a bucket full of tears going into the pillow, huh? That's what we're talking about, huh?
That's awesome.
If y'all don't know what that was, I'm a big WWE fan because when we came out with Closers Olympics in 2020, there was nothing going on in the sports world except for WWE. And you guys said, let's run some promos like WWE. So I did it. And I was the only one that did it. I went and pretended that I was Stone Cold Steve Austin. So what that was is the hottest wrestler in WWE right now. His name's LA Knight. I'm going to tag him in a TikTok to see if he'll actually reshare it. That was me doing LA Knight's promo right there, baby.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, that's really quiet. And this year, then the other 2 years, I think this is the first year we ever kind of seen you kind of stumble a little bit, where you had to really get in your bag. It clearly showed. I think everybody in the finals had a hard final run, and I really think everybody had to dig deeper. Talk a little bit about this year where for a moment there you're over the barrel, you're grabbing the ankles for a second, but you pivoted and you got back in the game. Talk to me. What did you do differently, and how did that 50-50 help you?
Yeah, so I had a lot of awareness on where I was time-wise, not really looking at the clock, just gut instinct. During the 50-day challenge, I would actually put myself on a 30-minute and an hour-long shot clock, knowing, hey, I knew we were going to be calling lead Zolo or speed to lead leads. So that's what I close on a daily basis. And I pretty much had prepared for those moments, mentally taking reps in where it's like, hey, I'm 30 minutes in on my hour-long final run. How can I slow down my breathing? How can I slow down my pace when I talk to sellers? What happens if a seller is elderly and doesn't know how to use a cell phone to sign a contract, which is what happened in the finals? I mentally prepared for all of those things. And it's funny because I actually talked about this. I interviewed quite a few people involved with the Closers Olympics. Munif, Elijah, I had Scotty B, Kendall, Jen, Toddy, I brought all of y'all in, and I was talking about that, where I kind of became obsessed over it. Like, hey, are you prepared for those moments? And I said it after I won. I said it took every single one of those reps, because basically every single one of the worst nightmares happened there in the finals, where it was like, I'm not getting any answers. I'm going into voicemail hell. Some full retail leads came in, and then getting a seller that says, yeah, I'll do the deal, but then he doesn't even know what kind of cell phone he has and has never signed an electronic contract before. It was funny. That was like the biggest compliment that Jerry Norton gave me. He was like, that showed that you're a true closer, that you got that guy to sign the contract. And if you've noticed, I was actually really relaxed. I felt like it was already over at that moment. I knew I was going to be able to get that done. So yeah, man, every single minute of the however many hundreds of hours it was of the 50 days really helped me there.
Yeah, no, I see it. And, talk a little bit what I really realized, what I saw really different this year. And I definitely watched the first couple of years, obviously. But what I saw, it felt like, especially on day two, when you was closing, I really saw that your pace, you don't really allow people to speed you up, slow you down. You, by all means, people notice that you're direct, you get direct to your question. But I really liked your pace and how they started mirroring your pace versus you mirroring theirs. And it's usually taught to mirror match what the seller's doing. Somehow you switch it where they started matching your pace. Talk a little bit about that. Was that intentional, or was that just something you just naturally started picking up?
Yeah, I think there's definitely intentionality behind it. It comes from, I always start when we were live this morning at 6 a.m. I talked about it. I said, yes, you want to mirror the seller's energy, but you don't want to lose yourself by doing that. And if you maintain, yourself, and you really make the seller sell you, their natural sales skills are going to come in. Everyone has an inherent sales skill. If you get a significant other, you sold yourself to that person.
Right.
So everyone sells on some level, and they will naturally start mirroring you and trying to sell you on their property. We saw that on both of my closes, where they were selling me on it. They were talking the property up and how valuable of an investment it could be. And I think, again, one of the biggest takeaways that I've taken away from 3 years of the Closers Olympics and getting to know everyone in this community on a pretty close level, to be honest with you, is that asking the right questions allows that to happen. And it's about making them talk. It's not about us. It's about them. Let it be about them, and get them to sell you the property and essentially let you sit back and be the real estate investor. And I always use the analogy, if you go to the store, you go to buy a car, right? The salesman is going to sell that to you, and you're going to sit back and you're going to be super picky about what you're buying. And as wholesalers, we don't have a tendency to be super picky about what we're buying. We kind of would just want to take whatever shit is thrown out on the table. And I think that makes a huge difference when you kind of slow down, you let them sell it on you, and you kind of are always pulling away. And quite frankly, I think this year was my best year on pulling away from sellers. I got to showcase that, which I don't think I've gotten to showcase that in previous Closers Olympics. So I really appreciated having the opportunity to do that, because that's what I think one of my better skill sets on an actual real day-to-day basis on buying properties.
Right. Nice.
Right.
Lex, were you gonna say, Lex?
RJ, I got a question. What's been the feedback in the DMs, the comments, the last week and a half for you?
So funny, 2020, I got a ton of love. 2021, I win. I'm in Cleveland, Ohio. I'm in a hotel, my son's hockey tournament. I go get on an airplane, and I'm thinking after this 3-hour plane ride that I'm going to land and my DM's going to be blown up with love, right? And all it was blown up with people saying, I'm coming for your belt. I could have beat you. That wasn't anything. You're not a real closer. And I'm like, whoa, what is up with the hate? Everyone loved me when I lost. This year, completely different. Completely. It's been nothing but love. Everyone has reached out and said, all right, man, you kind of cemented a legacy. It's one thing to do it once. You could have gotten lucky, but now realistically, it's become where, hey, there is a process and there are results to back it up, where we saw it in 2020. We saw me do it in 2021. I went on Steven Morales's, deal desk, locked up a deal there. I've done the closer shows with Speed Elite. Every single time I've done that, I've gotten a deal under contract. The 50-day challenge, 2023, wholesaling live. It's like, come on, guys. Put some respect on it, baby. Like, the deals are getting closed here. And also, I take pride in this. Naaman is his own man, and Naaman has learned from a lot of people, but including he's come to the Crucible. And I take a lot of pride in Naaman making the finals, because I see some things that I know that he's taken away from being associated with Titanium on some degree, along with a lot of other things. He doesn't close like me, but I hear some things about it. The toilet maneuver, I don't know, that was like, I was sitting back going, that a boy. That's what I'm talking about.
Bro, you have the best style for this competition. So if anybody ever intends on winning first, second, or third, you're gonna probably have to do it a little bit like RJ.
Yeah, facts, and that's what I enjoyed about it, man. Seeing you take that energy, that competitiveness, because I did feel like there were some competitors last year that somewhere in their shot clock they forgot it was a competition, and I didn't see that like inner dog come out of them. I feel like, I'm gonna go get the contract right now. They kind of sat back and were like, I got 6 minutes. And it's like, yeah, dude, you got 6 minutes. You better send the damn contract.
Right.
And to Naaman's point, he didn't even ask. He just sent the damn contract and pretty much put all of his eggs in that basket to get that contract signed. So, man, 2023, the love has been there from the entire community. I've really felt it this time, and it feels really good.
So with all the hate, you're just kind of like in a pagan winter solstice feast, and to this year, like in Valhalla, would you say that, when you're hitting these closers and you're hitting these sellers, sometimes people thought year one you just hit them with a hammer, but now they understand this year you really have adapted your styles, adapting ways to move people. You had one guy pull over and talk to you. I mean, that's really moving sellers, and that happens in so many different aspects just besides the phone. Can you share a little bit where you use some of your closing skill sets outside of just the phones? I mean, you got Cassie there. I'm sure she has a lot of stories, but how else are you using your closer skill set?
It's funny that you bring that up, because I think we use it across the board in everything that we do. The process that I have for my day-to-day is essentially a sales process on myself. The importance of taking care of my body and doing a better job with that. Taking inspiration from some younger entrepreneurs that I've been around, like Naaman. I mean, if you've ever met Naaman in person, the dude is fucking jacked. And he takes care of his body. And so for me as an entrepreneur, I start with closing myself about, hey, I've got to take care of myself. I've got to have set guidelines on when I'm waking up, when I'm going to sleep, when I'm eating, what I'm eating, making sure that I'm investing in my team, the people that are relying on me, invest, like Naaman says, being a seven-figure father, being there for my kids and having non-negotiables on, like, hey, we don't buy houses on double yellow lines with power lines in the front yard. Hey, non-negotiables. I don't miss certain things with my kids. I'm going to be there. So it starts there. And if you're constantly having those processes in your life, I think it becomes really easy to do that across the board. And I'm by no means perfect at it. Just like I'm not perfect with closing sellers. Nobody is. There's always things that we can learn, but that's one of the things I always talk about as well, is every single call that I get off of, I recap the call mentally and say, what could I have done better? What should I have said? I even live sometimes, I will literally look at the camera and said, I shouldn't have said that. I should have gone a different route. I'm glad that wasn't in the Closers Olympic. It's just about consistently. Someone said it earlier, a seed a day, something, a fire line, something like that, about a seed a day, 1% better every single day really makes a difference. And so, yeah, I mean, it's funny you bring that up, because the first person I close every single day is myself.
And is it true that you and Rich Wonders are third degree cousins?
Yeah, that's it. Max wants to know why I have axes behind me.
Yeah, talk about the axes.
I will answer that. So we started the Crucible in 2021. That's our education 2-day boot camp that Naaman's attended. And our second one that we ever had, the students nicknamed me the Viking Wizard. I didn't come up with it. That's what they nicknamed me. And all of these behind me are gifts. I have not bought myself any of those. So those are students, employees, friends, partners. They've all bought me the axes, the Viking helmet, the swords, the gear. It's all just gifts that people have given me to kind of show the love and for, pouring into them and teaching them real estate and how to change their lives. So everything behind me is a gift. Not one of those has been purchased by me.
Original Ragnar here. I see you. So let me ask you. So Naaman, seeing the chance that you had, you came against, you went against RJ, you went against Munif. This year, I mean, you went from year one, did not have the best outing, all right, to really showing up in this year. Kind of talk a little bit about the transition from last year into this year and going against these three top elite closers.
Yeah, and I think this is the part that a lot of people can take away from me and a lot of people that are going to share. It's the consistency and the hard work that you can just put into this art form. We talk about it like a sport, right? You think Steph Curry isn't putting up shots in the corner all day, every day, so he can shoot 52% from the left corner? I don't think he's doing that. That's what I did for the last 2 years, was just put up corner threes consistently. And those are, that's the easiest, 3-pointer on the court. These inbound leads from Lead Zolo, these are the easiest leads to close. So, putting in the work, working on my craft, studying not just other real estate people that are in sales, but all salespeople in general. I studied guys that sold cars, roofs, insurance, solar. I studied all those guys because for me, like I shared this morning, it's about being a master communicator, not really being the best real estate closer, right? Yeah. It's about being able to talk to people the best. So I didn't, I didn't just like come up with this all on my own. I studied a ton of people. I found a process that I liked, and I'm going to give credit for the people that I learned this from here while we got this platform, right? I learned that aggressive style from RJ, how to get straight to the point. Well, how much do you want for it? Right? Like if there's a line that we could give RJ, it's that.
Right.
How much do you want for it? Right. So that was something that I learned from him, being very aggressive and upfront with it. My sales process, I actually picked that up from Tiffany and Josh High. I attended their 2-day workshop. I loved their script. Whenever I picked it up and learned from it, I was like, dude, I'm just going to make some changes and keep this as part of my script. Knowing what I'm going to say for my objections, I learned from Andy Elliott. I attended some of his workshops and got closer with their group. The word track thing, like that is something I picked up from them. So when they say, like this morning when I shared my role play stuff, that's stuff that I picked up from them. It's a car salesman. He doesn't know real estate at all, right? I took that stuff and applied it to real estate. And then this putting people on hold, I picked that up from Eric Klein, who, ducked us on this competition, but maybe he'll come next year. We'll see. I picked that up from him, but I give credit. Like that is another guy that I learned a lot of stuff from. Right. So those are some people that I tuned into and learned some of my sales stuff from. And then Jeremy Miner's another guy that I study. And Steve Train's another guy that I study, read their books, watch their stuff. I pick it up. I'm a student of the game. And I think people that are watching can realize, like, you don't need a big following. You don't need to be popular. You can be really good at freaking sales and make a lot of money. And then you can do stuff like this for fun and showcase your talents.
Naaman, let's be honest, bro. Eric Klein has already submitted his application for day 2 judging. That dude will never compete. Come on.
Ooh. Well, we'll see. We'll see. I gave him year 1. He got to pass year 1. He sold me on the reason why he couldn't. So I'm gonna give his blessings. Year 2, we're gonna make sure we get the dates well in advance for him. So there'll be no running.
I don't think he's gonna compete, but yeah.
I will say this. On my podcast this past week, I interviewed Jerry Norton. We only talked about Closers Olympics. He asked me a question. He said, RJ, why do you think there's not 20,000 people watching Closers Olympics live? And I said, it's because Jerry Norton doesn't close. He just judges. If Jerry Norton would get in the seat, we would have 20,000 people. And so you know what? He goes, you're right. How about we go live every week and let's close, and I'll think about competing in the next Closers Olympics. Hey, King Closer trying to get some.
Let's go.
Trying to get it in there, baby. Let's get Jerry Norton in 2024.
Leading the closers crumbs for him to get to it. I see you.
That's the way the cookie crumbles. Let's go.
Next up, Pace Morby.
Let Munif work on the inside for that one.
I like the insider training, the insider trading and connection. You know, you're so smart. You're so smart to think like that. I mean, you popped your head out. You saw the opportunity, like almost like a dolphin, right? You saw it and you went after him. So that's smart technique. That would be dope to see Jerry, Pace, and bring them all out. And so the invite's officially out there for them. All right, so
I don't know, man. No way is that happening. I think
you don't think someone You don't think it'll happen?
I don't know. There's a lot of talk, but to actually get in the seat and compete, it takes a lot of courage, takes a lot of guts, takes a lot of time. I mean, you got to really dedicate a lot of that. So I just have so much. Look, no shame to anyone who doesn't do it, but I just have so much respect for people that actually do it, regardless of how they performed. Even if you bombed or you felt like you bombed, if you put yourself out there and you did it, I have so much stinking respect for you. So all the competitors, all the people in the qualifiers, all of them, they put their reputation on the line. They put their brand on the line. They did something really, really, really hard to do in front of thousands of people. The recordings are going to be out there forever. And you're taking a massive risk. I mean, you could get a terrible seller. Like anybody, like I could get a seller and do what I do and then get cussed at, and I have to deal with that, live on air. So it's tough. Like getting out there and putting it all on the line is really tough. So,
bro, I know that I didn't do well in 2021. Right, I did my best to try and close my deal. I studied, and I came on. I performed. I've never watched it because I don't even want to see it. Right? Where I've grown to and come to now, I'm like, you know what? For me, it's just not even worth watching.
Hey, Munif, to your point, Jerry Norton's answer was, the reason why I can't do that is because I've built such a big brand, and my livelihood depends upon that. That if I were to go out there and in a 30-minute time frame just have a terrible call with a bad lead, that could significantly move the needle for me and my brand. That's the reason why you're not getting it. And so mad respect to everyone that's ever competed in a Closers Olympics. And I've said it every time I get a chance, Elijah and Keith, you guys could have sat back and said, we are the owners of this, and not competed and just kind of sat on your high horse and said, we are the judges. And nothing would have really changed, but you put yourselves out there every single year. I've had the honor of competing 3 years in a row. And I'm going to be honest with you guys. This year was there was a lot of pressure, right? Because what happens if I go out there and I lay a 27? you know, it's like, oh, okay. Was it not real? What happened here? I thought you were the king closer. There's going to be a lot of blowback. So mad respect to everyone that's ever put themselves out there, because we haven't built up to 500,000 subscribers on YouTube. We're down at the beginning stages trying to get there, and we're saying we're going to put ourselves out there on the risk of losing whatever momentum we have. That says a lot about our characters.
For sure. You don't want to be out here repping for the bottom of the barrel. You know, you got Pat out here. You got Byron like crucifying people. that was pretty challenging. But let's hear from we'll start with you, Naaman. You know, before we bring up Steve here in a second, you know, the Dispo King. Naaman, let's hear from you real quickly. For people who want to connect with you, how do they get a hold of you? And then tell them, why was this so important this year's Close Olympics?
Yeah, so people can follow me at Naaman Taylor Investor on Instagram. That's my main channel. That's where I'm always at. I answer all the DMs. So I'll definitely get back to you. Probably not tonight because I'm going to go watch some snowfall with my wife. We just started that show. Yeah, I know. Don't tell me what happens. We're on
at the end.
Episode 2 of season 1. So I got a long way to go. But this was so important to me because I wanted to, people are going to buy the replays. And this is a really good thing for them to see. The different styles and the process that I showed people, and the way I explained it even in this morning's call, it helps people learn how to close, man. And this is how you can change your life. Well, a lot of people don't know about me. I did 13 years in the Army. I haven't even been out of the Army for a year yet, and I've been doing this now full time for 10 months or whatever. You can change your life if you learn sales. If you learn some real estate, you learn how to do exactly what we just did in this competition. Listen, this competition was for fun, right? It was for fun. We competed. Trust me, I wanted to win. I mean, I brought that energy. But at the end of the day, it's for fun. But you can take what we did here for you and turn it into something real. Turn it into something very real. Like RJ mentioned this morning, you have like $700,000 dispo, right? That's a lot of money to a lot of people. And that's from doing this. Exactly what you just watched them win a competition doing. Exactly. We know each other. Like, let me tell you, that's exactly what he just did for the last 2 months, what he did on the recording. So if you haven't got your recording, you absolutely have to buy it. You have to watch that stuff. Find the person you resonate with. Go deep, study the game, learn from as many people as possible. Because eventually you're going to pick your head up and you're going to be the one closing, $700K from 2 months worth of work.
Thank you. Fire. Munif, silver winner, back-to-back years. Let people know how they can connect with you, how they can get a hold of you, and why watching the Close Olympics and learning from it is so valuable this year.
Oh, the Close Olympics is valuable every single year. This year is in particular was awesome. The finals was awesome. But day one was there was a lot of cool stuff day one. So I recommend getting all the replays, watching all of them. You can see how the tournament and the competition progresses. It has an evolution year after year after year. It just levels up. So I highly recommend it. Look, if you're looking to get into this industry, you don't really need much money. A couple $100. You can watch all 3 years. You can, I think you have a VIP package where it actually has like a course, like a closer's course. That's super worth it. You get that, you then go to Lead Zolo, get some leads, and start dialing, start calling some sellers. So I recommend, highly recommend doing that. You don't have to go, spend $10,000, $15,000, $30,000 on some mentorship. You can get really started with a lot less than that. And if you want to reach me, I have been pretty busy lately between sipping lattes and feeding my baby milk, changing diapers and bibs. I've been busy, buying creative deals. So if you've got a creative deal in a major Texas market that you might need help negotiating, or you negotiated it, locked it up, but you want to sell it, I'm a buyer in the major Texas markets for creative deals and cash deals. Hit me up on Instagram. I'll put my Instagram in the chat. Just at Munif Saza. So it's It's pretty simple. Yeah. So appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me.
Yes. Appreciate you, Munif. Like I said, the latte legend himself. I appreciate you, sir. So let's bring RJ up here. RJ, you know, King Closer. Like I said, I got to know you way better than this last year. You know, you and I have been back and forth. You absolutely helped on multiple ways that I didn't even know that you cared to that level. And you really care. You really showed up. You're really a go-giver. Share how people can get a hold of you, what's coming next for you, and then why this is so important for people to lock in with the Close Olympics.
Yeah, so I mean, right now, you know, content-wise, YouTube, RJ Bates III. I mean, dude, I am just pumping out the videos. Today alone, 4 videos got released. You know, live calls. We're going back. We're chopping up all that from the 50 days. You know, releasing podcasts. I interviewed Robert Winsley today. You know, so go check that out. That's where, you know, we're trying to pour as much into the community as possible. We've got a Crucible coming up October 5th and 6th here in Fort Worth, Texas. We're charging $2,222.22 for winning the Closers Olympics twice. Listen, this means so much to me. It really does. Everyone involved means something to me. It meant a lot to have Munif come back. I reached out to him and I said, brother, the community needs you. And he did it without really asking any questions. He said, you're right. And he came back and he did it. And here he is again. He showed, hey, you don't have to close like RJ Bates to close a deal. You can be yourself. You can be Munif Saza. You can be an introvert, quiet, super nice guy, sipping a latte, you know, cradling the baby, changing diapers, doing all that. And he closes deals. I love it so much. And then just what we saw with the community, with the outpouring of people trying out and the love that we got in the qualifiers, that was an incredible addition. Seeing someone like Steve Francis from HBHS win Dispo Day, who I've known for 3 years. I met him at Donovan Ruppin's event several years ago when he was brand new. And now seeing him, like, he's the king Dispo closer. Sold over $100,000 in assignments in 45 minutes. It was unbelievable. I've never seen anything like that in Closers Olympics history. So it means so much to me. And then seeing Naaman try out in 2021 right here
at that desk. Yeah.
He sat right here where he tried out. We finished the Crucible. He came in here, tried out, made the Closers Olympics. Yeah, he didn't have the day, the turnout he wanted, but he put the work in and he didn't shy away from coming back.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I love about it. Do you know how many people have come through here and didn't have a showing and then we never saw them again?
Yep.
Bye.
David said, put me back on, baby. Let me have my day. And he made it to the finals. I absolutely love this competition. I hope it never stops. The doors that it opens up for people is enormous. Great job by Alex and Keith and Elijah and Jen and Jasmine and Peter and everyone involved. You guys killed it this year. And as far as what's next for me with Closers Olympics, I said it before and I'll say it again. I'm not going to stop until someone takes the belt away from me. Okay? So I'm in closer until I either kill the competition because there is no more, or someone takes the belt away from me. Now, dude, Naaman's coming. He said, I'm coming with the AR and a 95 on the scoreboard. He wrote it down, 95, because I got 94. I will say, I still want to go with my plan, Elijah, where I'm automatically in the finals. I don't know about this whole I got to go through the first round of the playoff shit, but we'll talk about it. But I'm coming back, baby.
Nice. You got to hop on the RJ choo-choo train. I mean, you got to appreciate this. I mean, he's killing it. He's absolutely killing it. So before we let you guys go, all right, let's bring up Steve Francis, not the Houston Rocket, but he's a franchise player, clearly, all right? And so let's bring up Mr. Steve Francis, the Dispo King. On Dispo Day, absolutely slaughtered it. I mean, he works for HBHS, one of their up and coming young talents. Let's hear from Mr. Steve Francis. You know, I think a lot of people wasn't sure what to really expect from the Dispo Day. A lot of people weren't sure, hey, how's this going to work out? Wasn't kind of clear, hey, this is going to be something really value. And not only did it, blew it out the water. Shout out to Robert and the whole InvestorLift family. They really had a chance to highlight the skill set of Dispo Day, and no one did a better job than Mr. Steve Francis. How are you doing, Steve?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
So you crushed it. We thought you might get one contract. That would have been super. RJ did 2 contracts, and then he became almost a living legend over here. You did 4 contracts. Had my sister thinking about retiring, getting into real estate after watching you go. All right. Talk a little bit about it. You had, people literally with lazy eyes watching, trying to count the numbers, and just dialing up. Talk a little bit about that experience, closing almost $100,000 worth of real actual deals in front of everybody. You didn't even need chapstick.
Yeah, no, it was good, man. First time I've ever done anything like that live. So that's definitely, like, everybody talks about it. Like, it's a whole different story when you have a shot clock and you're live and you're like, you got all the pressure and all that. So definitely felt that. I knew, the first deal that we had, we're using InvestorLift, right, which is the best software in the game. So right off the gate, I had, I think, 10, maybe 9 or 10 full price offers on that thing. So I knew, like, I really wanted to showcase, one, what InvestorLift can do for someone in Dispo that's got a killer deal. And then 2, since I had, those offers, I was like, you know what, I'm going to talk somebody up, man. We're getting 150. We're getting the most that we can out of it. So we did that relatively short. I think the first guy that I talked to was like, yeah, let's do it. Let's make it happen. So that was like, I think 5 minutes in when we got that. And I was like, all right, well, let me put him on hold for a second and get the rest, see if I can, talk somebody up a little bit more. So we did that, got that one wrapped up. And then I had it saved. I didn't know which one I wanted to do because I had 2 properties I was going between, or 2 deals, that one. And then we had a 3 package. So I was like, man, it'd be killer if I could sell this one too. And I know we were talking about potentially doing RJ's deal out in Lubbock. And I was like, all right, cool. We moved this one. Let me move with this one and see if I can get that one done. But I saw an offer come in, and I was like, nah, dude, I gotta try my shot so I can get 4 at once. So that's what we ended up doing.
Cool. Lex, I know you dispo a lot of deals yourself, Lex. Speaking for somebody who's closed deals all around the country virtually, what did you notice from Steve yourself?
Well, his knowledge of the game was undeniable, right? The verbiage, the communication with the buyers, like, you can tell he's done a few deals out there, But yeah, I think anybody that's struggling with Dispo, it's like you got to get real familiar with the process and the verbiage, and he put on a master class. I think that training alone just from Dispo Day is going to change a lot of lives and going to train a lot of future disposition managers. Like, you really set the tone, and we had an idea of what Dispo Day could be, but it was just like absolutely blew all expectations. And we thank you for that.
Yeah, thank you.
Bro, going after Steve was like going after Munif in 2021. Like, I felt bad for the rest. I was like, they're gonna do great, but like, this sucks now. Like, Steve, just get him out of here. Giddy up, cowboy. It's over with. I was like,
Steve came in like a grizzly bear on a choo-choo train, poking the buyers in the eyeball, saying, I don't care if that chapped your ass. You ain't getting no chapstick from me, baby. Hard EMD. How many more deals you going to buy from me? That's what Steve did.
Let's go.
Deals. How much? $92,000?
Yeah, 92.5. 92.5.
Respect on that 500, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Hey, they knew what they're doing down there in San Antonio, man. That those are big assignment fees. They say everything's bigger in Texas. It's all Texas boys on this call right now, by the way.
Ooh. Yeah, a lot of Texas boys. And Lex is a Cowboy fan, so you might as well make him honorary one over there.
That's right. Yeah.
So, Steve, tell me, what type of love have you received now that you're literally the Dispo King for a whole year? You're about to be at Wholesaling Live.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Wholesaling Live. Another good closing event for everybody. Should go and check that out. But talk about the type of love you notice, the confidence you're feeling now that you've been doing this for a while on your own.
Right.
But now the world gets to see why you're such a unique closer.
Yeah, no, it was cool. I've got nothing but love. Thank God, right? Everybody's been super supportive. I got a couple people shooting me texts and calling me after the event, which was cool. It's really great kind of being a part of the community because I really kind of wasn't, prior to that, right? And just seeing how tight knit everybody is and everything like that was really good. But yeah, nothing but love. And right now it's nothing but pressure, to be honest. I'm thinking, man, next year, I got to think next year. I'm listening to you guys like, man, you prepared year long for this event, right? Just kind of doing what you do and honing your craft. And now I got to step it up and make sure that I can do the same thing next year. So I'm looking forward to that for sure.
5 contracts.
Yeah, right. I got to get 5 or 6 next year. You got to make sure that can happen.
What was cool, what you didn't see, Steve, was I run the dispositions department for REI call centers. They have about 200 clients that we do a lot of JVs with.
Mm-hmm.
I had 8 people on the call, all watching you do your deals because we do train with them. And as you were going, I was like, just the way he sounds and the way he's putting this out, I cannot wait to watch this again with them and go over what you did. It was so good. I hadn't seen any. It was the first time we did a dispo day. I hadn't seen anything like it. So I was like, this is incredible. Like, I'm good at communicating, so I'm showing them how I would talk to a buyer.
Mm-hmm.
You put on a masterclass, brother. So I just want to give you your flowers, man. You did really good, and we definitely from our side of the company, like everybody was on the call watching. We watched the whole dispo day together. It was like 10 of us on this call. So thank you for putting on that masterclass too.
All right.
Yeah,
all right.
Man.
We've said enough kind words to Steve. All right. Here's the thing. Since I own the Closers Olympics, Steve, and I watched you, and my superpower is watching something and then perfecting it. Okay. I'm gonna compete next year in the dispo day.
Let's go.
And I'm gonna take your belt next year. All right?
Take it all the
I'll
belt.
pull out my deal up, and then I'm gonna dispo it on dispo day. All right.
Let's go. Maybe I'll do the other side and I'll do acquisitions too.
Dipping in your water.
Let's go.
Go ahead.
I like it.
Yeah,
now we're getting spicy with the
Well, because to be honest, a lot of the stuff that I use, like when I got into dispo, I went straight from acquisition. So like a lot of the stuff that I use, like my tie downs and my word tracks, are straight from the stuff that I did with acquisitions. I just have to tweak it a little bit to make it, talking to a buyer. But I use the same stuff in acquisitions, a lot of the same words.
You know what else is funny, Steve? Is I had sent Mike a deal in San Antonio not that long ago. We couldn't move it. I sent it to Mike. I said, "Hey, can you guys live down there. Can you take care? Can you do this?" And he gave me some feedback. He's like, "Oh, it's kind of the same offers that we had." After you went, I called him. I said, "Hey, did you have Steve call on my deal?" I was like, "I think he could probably find me a buyer."
That's funny, dude.
He started laughing. So yeah, dude, you just did a really good job. I had a good time to laugh about it.
Hey, so I will say this because this is the post conference. So day one, I locked up that deal in Lubbock. We opened it up where anyone during dispo day could dispo it. No one really attempted. Carlos spent about 5 minutes on it, and then his round ended, right? So afterwards, Robert Winsley from Investor Lift said, "Hey, RJ, we got to sell your deal." So he was like, let's record it. So I recorded a video with Robert Winsley for 5 hours the next day, dispoing that deal. And I literally just took everything that Steve did and replicated it and eventually sold the deal. It was more challenging because it was on the MLS. It was in Lubbock. Not a whole lot of buyers have been built out in Lubbock, which Robert walked me through on what that meant. But that video is going to be coming out. And I will say, man, your dispo day made an impact on us and my company. I mean, we straight up now are replicating everything that you did during your dispo day. So thank you.
Yeah, man, that's cool. I appreciate that. That means a lot. That's awesome.
Yes. No, I think the whole closer community as a whole, just seeing, how great it is to have dispo day, how tremendously valuable. The other side of this, a lot of acquisition, we get a lot of love, we get a lot of hype, but it means nothing if you don't have anybody on the dispo side. So as we're wrapping things up, Steve, would you share with people, how can people connect with you if they want you to help dispo their deals? If they want to connect with you, how do they connect with you? And to speak a little bit at the end, why it's so important to not only watch Closer Olympics, but specifically lock into the Dispo Day section.
Yeah, absolutely. If anybody wants to get a hold of me, it's just I am Steve Francis on Instagram. So just DM me if you got a deal. I'd be more than happy to look at it. I'll even help you on the acquisition side of it too. So I do that for a lot of people as well. Do both sides. So as far as the whole Closer Olympics thing, I mean, it's super important, especially since Dispo Day was so new. It's the first time to do it. A lot of people are seeing these things for the first time. I mean, there's things that I've taken from some of the other competitors too. Just to kind of mix it up, right? So every single one of us, had something valuable to add, to everybody's dispo team. So it's awesome. It's humbling to hear that you guys like take some of the stuff that you heard from the dispo day that I did and use it for your team. That's awesome too. But yeah, I mean, that's what I would say. I mean, obviously being able to watch people that do this at a high level, right? Like RJ, Naaman, everybody that is a contender in the Closers Olympics. Learning how to close deals, but then also taking it on the other side and learning how to actually put the pedal to the metal and make the money, lock in the assignments too. So, I mean, you'd be crazy if you didn't get the bundle for sure, to move your business forward. So,
perfect. Well, Steve, once again, extra boss salute to you, my friend.
Thank you.
You crushed it. 4 contracts, 92,500 in 45 minutes. I mean, what people make in a year, you did in 45 minutes. Phenomenal. Double salute to you and the HBHS family. We appreciate you. Thank you. Appreciate you, Steve. Naaman, thank you, sir. Appreciate you locking in for all the work you've done, from serving us in the United States to serving the closer community and becoming a world-renowned communicator. We appreciate you, value you. And then RJ, once again, King Closer. Back-to-back years, you did it. You put in time. You put in the work. We absolutely appreciate and value you. Look forward to seeing you and being a part of Close Olympics for many more years and continued success. Lex, do you have any final words for these 3 wonderful closers before they exit stage?
Yeah, we just appreciate you guys on behalf of the entire CO team. You guys have been a great example and great pioneers of what it really should be in this industry. So just salute to you, gentlemen, and thank you guys.
Perfect. Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate that. So as we're winding down now, I want to be able to give away the winner. We have a winner for the bundle. We want to make sure we give out we want to give the winner some love. So the winner who hit the hashtag Closers23, who was giving extra value everywhere we went to, it's going to be Angela Menza.
Angel Mesa.
You know how to read.
Yeah. I know how to read. Yeah, congrats to Angel Mesa. Congrats on the winner for today. If you can, what are we doing? If they can reach out to one of us directly, we'll get that set up.
Yeah, just DM the Closer Olympics, DM Closer Olympics winner, and we'll know that's you, and we'll go ahead and make sure we get with you, Angel, not Angela, but Angel. We'll make sure we lock in with you and make sure you take care of your winner. And like I said, we want to support everybody locking in, putting those pieces in place. Man, what a wonderful post conference. You see the love everybody gives and how everybody shares and connects. Definitely different, right, Lex?
Yeah, it's nice to put a cap on this year's final, event, and it sets the stage for next year. So just excited to keep on the momentum going. And again, shout out to King Closer and Dispo Closer, or Dispo King Closer, and next year I guess they'll be competing, so that's exciting.
Yeah, they're gonna be going head to head, back and forth. That's gonna be kind of crazy. So like I said, we're gonna have a lot of these same quality closers back for next year. I do want to remind you guys, go and get your bundle. Make sure you see day 1, day 2, day 3, the Dispo Day. Over 70 plus hours of pure raw action, the ultimate edutainment of its kind. We got to make sure we have that locked in. We got to make sure that you give yourself a chance to win at all types of levels. we also want to make sure you guys are going to get a survey request. Fill that out. Fill out the application. I mean, not the application. Fill out the link so you can register to be at the exclusive bonus training. We're going to be doing an exclusive closers training next Friday at 2 p.m. You're all going to receive a simple link asking you to just let us know feedback. How do we make this better? What did you like? What you didn't like? We heard from the closer. We heard from the judges. We want to hear from you guys for sure. So the exclusive training will be going down next Friday on the 18th at 2 p.m. PST. You have to register. It's free $99 for everybody's locked in here. It's free $99, and so that's super important. The exclusive training. Next and final, everybody who said, "Hey, I want to be a part of the Closers Olympics. How do I want to be on Dispo Day? No one heard of me. They need to know about me. I'm here to take that belt from Steve Francis. I'm here to take that belt from RJ. Let me in." This is the way you're able to get in. All you have to do, you could go to Closers Olympics, DM the word qualified. DM the word qualified. We'll send you a link so you could absolutely fill out the application. And we're going to be having auditions. We'll be updating auditions. All you have to do is go to Closers Olympics and probably not qualify. Hit the word DM audition. Sorry. DM the word audition. And all you have to do, you hit that. We're going to send you a link. You fill that out, fill out your information. And we'll be following up with you, letting you know when the auditions officially are. This is, as you see, Munif, a couple years ago, nobody knew who this guy was. And now, back-to-back silver medal winners, RJ. A couple years ago, he was a good closer, but no one knew he had this level of star talent. Naaman, on the way up. I mean, isn't it kind of amazing? I mean, Lexi, just to see where people went from where they were just a couple years ago to now where they're at because they put the skill set on the line?
Yeah, and well, not only that, but they also work for it, right? There's a lot of attention and intention to their skill set, and there's a process for it, right? So for everybody watching, like, you can also become, king closer. Now, RJ might be there to combat that, but you can certainly do it, right? Like, it is possible. So, yeah.
For sure. Like I said, if you see it, you could be it. Like I said, if one person could bake a cake, you could bake a cake and throw your sauce, your seasoning on there. We want to hear from more of you ladies. All right, ladies, make sure you reach out. Let's get you in auditions. Let's get you on here. We want you on judge. We want lady judges. We want lady dispo closers. We want lady actual closers. So put yourself. Make sure you guys DM auditions to at the Closers Olympics Instagram page. Make sure you guys get your bundles. We'll see you guys all next week at the exclusive Closers Olympics bonus training. We're going to be doing free $99. All you have to do, like I said, fill out that survey. I want to thank all of our sponsors. We want to thank all of our sponsors, specifically InvestorLift and Lead Zolo, Integra, Equity, Uprank, Equity Cash Offer, No Limit Real Estate, and PropStream. Thank all of our sponsors. We absolutely appreciate you guys. Wow, this has been a great year. 2023 Closers Olympics in the books. Thank you all. We'll see you guys on the next one. Salute. Bye.
Close it. When I close, doors open. Every key I
This is a competition. Somebody's going home with the top closer title belt.
If I did 189, would you have to talk to her, or could you agree to that? All right, let's do 189.9 then.
If I gave you 31, will you sign today?
Where's our time?
So if that's a price we can do, is this something you'd be ready to move forward with today as far as like an agreement in place?
More urgency, closing time. Close it. Pick up the
trap in. Everybody get excited.
He was good. But this guy's got skills, and his approach is different, and it works so well.
I look at rapport not as like, weather, sports.
That was probably top 5 that I've ever seen.
He moved us away.
The truth is I already knew it. I'm so hot I'm melting the villain like ice.
It's the noise talking and backing it up for me, and the consistency.
It's something that you're never going to be able to see, I think, replicated anywhere else. It's so much you can learn from this.
This is the best training series anybody could ever ask for.
Mr. Knox, we're taking care of him, and we're going to spend the money with the family for somebody I don't know, okay?
Yeah.
on every call is sell or be sold. Let's go.
Man, I thought that was gonna be something.
Is that something that you would want to move forward with, though?
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything is possible. There is nothing holding you back.
Baby, you won. You won, Dad.
Yeah.
And that's the bottom line.
Close it. Pick up the phone. Close it. Big ass flow. Close it. $1 million deal. Close it. It's all on you. Close it. What you gonna do? Close it. I want the proof. Close it. $1 million.